Achievement and School Innovation of the Board of School Directors will please come to order. Will the secretary
Recording in
please-
progress.
Will the secretary please call the roll?
Director Ferguson.
Present.
Director Fons.
Present.
Director Herndon.
Present.
Director Vinoy.
Present.
And Chair Seamson.
Present.
That's 5 present. We have a quorum.
The chair will now ask the secretary to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. The chair invites any members of the audience who wish to participate to do so and asks that those who do not wish to participate please remain silent during the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting is being conducted from the Central Services Building. This meeting is also broadcast via live stream on the MPS website and on the MPS YouTube stream, the links to which may be found on the MPS website on the broadcast page. Finally, for our listening audience, if you wish to access this evening's agenda items and attachments online, you may do so by visiting the Meetings, Agendas, and Minutes page of the MPS website. Before we begin tonight's meeting, we have a short announcement regarding interpretation services for the Spanish-speaking members of our audience.
Buenas tardes y bienvenidos a la Junta Escolar de las Escuelas Públicas de Milwaukee. Si deseas escuchar esta reunión en español, por favor llame al 312-626-6799. Otra vez, 312-626-6799. Introduzca el número de reunión 608-130-5362. Nuevamente, el número de reunión es 608-130-5362. Gracias.
Thank you. For each of our items of business, we will hold a discussion and public hearing. If you wish to speak, please fill out a speaker slip and bring it to our secretary, Dr. Owen Moore. Virtual speakers are asked to remain on the platform until you are called upon. After speaking, virtual speakers may follow the rest of the meeting using the broadcast information previously mentioned. For the sake of fairness tonight and to give everyone a chance to speak, the chair reserves the right to limit the length of time allowed to any one speaker. For the safety of all and to ensure the good order of the meeting, harassment or intimidation tactics of any kind will not be tolerated. Anyone who engages in such harassing or intimidating words or actions will immediately be asked to cease. If such behavior continues, a recess will be called and the offending parties will be removed from the meeting. Anyone ejected from the meeting may continue to listen to the meeting or access the agenda items online. However, the individual will not be allowed to rejoin the meeting. And now, given that our focus this year is literacy, we have some help from with our messages from one of our young readers, Oakland, who is a second grader at Story School.
Child reader is not, the recording is not working this evening, so if you'd read for us, and then we'll make sure we get, Nyla will be here on Tuesday, and then we'll get Oakland for the next time.
Okay, that is so disappointing.
I know.
Oh, all righty. Oh,
What's that?
do we have?
Do we? No, go ahead. We'll go ahead.
No? Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so I will read her message, but definitely not as cute or as well. The committee will accept public comments on tonight's agenda items. Speaker may only address the item for which they have registered. Questions from the public may not be answered during the public comment period. Following public comment, the committee will begin its discussion and no additional comments will be accepted. When you are called upon to speak, please state your name and spell your last name for the record. Like this, Tamika Jones, Jones. Written testimony will also be accepted for transmittal to the board. Send this testimony to the Office of Board Governance, P.O. Box 2181, Milwaukee, Wisconsin 532012181, or email it to governance@milwaukee.k12.wi.us. Just as a reminder, Robert's Rules of Order dictates that all comments, questions, or requests be directed to the chair, who will determine the most efficient way to address them. Also, no one other than the members of the board, designated staff, and those who have been invited to present or participate in items of business will be allowed on stage before, during, or after meetings of the board and its committees. Now, Madam Secretary, let's begin with item number 1.
Madam Chair, item 1 is action on a recommendation to approve the renewal of the instrumentality charter school contract for Whittier Elementary, Inc., for Whittier Elementary School. The administration recommends that the board, 1, approve the renewal of a 5-year instrumentality charter school contract with Whittier Elementary, Inc., and 2, authorize the superintendent's designee, in consultation with the board's designee and the Office of the City Attorney, to enter into negotiations with representatives of Whittier Elementary, Inc. for Whittier Elementary School, and to draft a renewed instrumentality charter school contract to begin with the start of the 2026-27 school year and end on the last regularly scheduled day of the 2030-31 school year.
Thank you. Would administration please present this item?
Chair Simpson and members of the committee, Brenda Caselli as superintendent. This evening, I'm joined by Bridget Schock, who will provide a summary of the recommendation before you to renew the instrumentality charter school contract for Whittier Elementary on behalf of Whittier Elementary School. Following the summary, we will be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Chair Simpson, members of the committee, Bridget Schock, Director of Contracted School Services. Before we present Whittier, I wanted to give an overview of the charter school review process so that everybody understands the scorecard and how they were rated and the rationale for the recommendation. So in the last year of the charter contract, schools indicate their intent to engage in the renewal process. Schools provide a letter of intent along with an application for renewal. Over the term of the contract, the charter school data is reviewed and analyzed, and in the last year of the term, a review team is established to determine if the school has met the academic, financial, and organizational performance criteria. Attached to each of the items in the next 4, you will see an at-a-glance document that provides an overview of the school performance, the scorecard with the feedback and rationale from the review team, the application and letter of intent submitted by the school, and the pupil academic achievement report that reflects the academic performance measures as indicated in the charter school contract. The review team is charged with reviewing the academic data, the financial audits, performance and compliance audits, and additional artifacts submitted by the school team. These artifacts are listed in the 3rd column of the scorecard and aligned to each of the indicators. On the day of the visit, the review team conducts classroom visits and listens to the testimony of students, staff, parents, governance board members, and community members. In the afternoon of the visit, the review team collaboratively scores the performance metrics outlined in the scorecard. The board provided valuable feedback over the years on the renewal process. We have used that feedback to create a more transparent rubric that aligns to the national standards for high-quality authorizers. This scorecard was created from resources with the National Association of Charter School Authorizers and other authorizers around the country. In May, we presented the scorecard to the board during a work session for feedback in collaboration with Wisconsin Resource Center for Charter Schools. Just when you look at the scorecard for the academic performance, the weight of English, math, science, and social studies performance is rated on a 3-point scale. A score of a 3 would indicate that the school met the performance metrics all years of the contract term. A score of 2 would indicate that the school showed consistent and substantial growth, where they are approaching the standard each year of the charter school contract. A score of 1 would indicate that the school falls below the standard or declined in performance, and a score of 0 would indicate that the school falls far below the standard. We did award schools that consistently exceeded the standard, schools that are exceeding the state or close to the state with a 4. So in essence, a bonus point that you can see in a few of the scorecards presented tonight. For all other indicators, the school either meets the standard or does not meet the standard with a 1 or a 0. This is outlined in the scorecard with further detail. A recommendation was based on a total combined score of 80 or better for a full term, which would be a 5-year renewal. Anything between a 79 to 60 would be for a short term, and any score below 60 would be a non-renewal. Lastly, the scorecard provides an overview of the support and monitoring that the school would receive based on the term that they get. So now into Whittier. So Whittier is a small school that serves 166 students in kindergarten through 5th grade. They have modeled the mission of providing a quality academic program oriented toward preparation for college, which instilling the essential concepts of building character. As outlined in the performance data attached, Whittier has exceeded the academic standards and is currently outperforming the state on all assessments. Whittier has maintained an attendance rate of 95%. They have significantly exceeded expectations on the state report card. Whittier is financially sound and has a strong organizational system in place. They are a teacher-led model with a collaborative culture among staff. It is evident that Whittier is a bright spot in our community who engages students in meaningful learning that yields high results. Whittier scored 112 on the scorecard for a full-term renewal of 5 years, which is the recommendation of the team. At this time, we can answer any questions you have.
Thank you so much. I do have one speaker slip, so we'll start with public comment. And could I please have Elizabeth Kosmak come up to the podium?
Elizabeth Kosmak, K-O-S-M-A-C-H. Good evening. Tonight I speak in favor of renewing Whittier Elementary School Charter. As a proud MPS educator of 13 years, I've spent my last 7 years at Whittier Elementary School as their special education teacher. Many of you probably have never heard of Whittier or know very little about us. We are doing some great things. We are right by the airport. As an instrumentality charter school, we are MPS employees, but we are different from other schools because we have a teacher leader and not an administrator. Our teacher-led model is what makes Whittier work. Our staff comes together to do what is best for our students and families. Our community is diverse and growing since the pandemic, and in a time full of unknown and uncertainties, our staff makes students and families feel welcome, loved, and supported. Many families stay at Whittier from K-4 to 5th grade, and we have families that transfer from MPS schools. Our hands-on approach have helped keep attendance rates and test scores high, higher than the district. Whittier Elementary School has significantly exceeded expectations on the DPI report card 3 years in a row. Don't be fooled, Whittier, we have our behavior problems and incidents, but we as a collective come together and put a plan and expectations in place what's best for our students. We understand one size do not fit all, and we are there to make our students grow. And we even tell our students that teachers make mistakes. I tell them every day everything I do wrong. And we tell them that we learn from them, and we recover from them, and we keep going. Staff at Whittier are dedicated to teaching the whole child, to make sure they are academically ready, but also socially and emotionally ready for years to come. We are MPS proud, and we would love your support tonight in our charter renewal. Thank you.
Thank you. As of right now, I believe those are all the public comments at this time. Okay, do committee members wish to make comments or ask questions? Seeing none, what is the pleasure of the committee with respect to this item? Director Ferguson?
I move approval.
All right, we have a motion on the floor. Would the secretary, do you have a comment or no? Okay, would the secretary please call the roll?
On Director Ferguson's motion to approve the administration's recommendation, Director Ferguson?
Aye.
Director Fons?
Aye.
Director Herndon?
Aye.
Director Vanoy?
Aye.
And Chair Seanson.
Aye.
That's 5 ayes, the motion passes.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, next item, please.
Madam Chair, item 2 is action on a recommendation to approve the renewal of the non-instrumentality charter school contract for Carmen High School of Science Technology, Inc. for Carmen Northwest. The administration recommends that the board, 1, approve the renewal of a 3-year non-instrumentality charter school contract with Carmen High School of Science and Technology, Inc., and 2, authorize the superintendent's designee in consultation with the board's designee and the Office of the City Attorney to enter into negotiations with representatives of Carmen High School of Science and Technology, Inc. for Carmen Northwest and to draft a renewed non-instrumentality charter school contract to begin with the start of the 2026-27 school year and end on the last regularly scheduled day of the 2028-29 school year.
Thank you. Would administration please present this item?
Chair Simpson and members of the committee, Brenda Caselli as superintendent. I am joined this evening by Bridget Schock, who will provide a summary of the recommendations before you to renew the non-instrumentality charter school contract for Carmen High School of Science and Technology, Inc. for Carmen Northwest. After her summary, we'll be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Chair Simpson, members of the committee, Bridget Schock, Director of Contracted School Services. Following the same process as previously mentioned in the item before, Carmen Northwest serves 573 students in grades 6 through 12. Carmen's mission is to graduate all students as critical thinkers and self-directed learners prepared for success in college, meaningful careers, community involvement, and family life. During the site visit, the VIEW team was able to connect some of the practices to its mission. Carmen has a graduation rate that is around 80%, and all students who are required to apply to a college, and they have a 100% acceptance rate. Not all students follow the pathway to college, and Carmen provides other opportunities for post-secondary planning. Carmen maintains an attendance rate greater than 85%. There has been some incidents of Carmen that have contributed to a higher suspension rates, which the school has addressed with implementing some new systems to ensure safe culture and climate. Although Carmen has fallen below the standard in English and math, they have demonstrated growth in science and has met the standard in social studies. Carmen has a strong system for supporting teaching and learning through their coaching and professional development. Carmen has financial stability and has met the organizational performance indicators with the exception of staff retention, which they have demonstrated growth in over the years. At this time, we can answer, the review team is recommending a short-term 3-year contract renewal. They scored 75.7 for the Northwest campus. At this time, we can answer any questions you have.
Thank you. And before we go into comments, I just had someone message me, and they're saying there's no video on the Zoom,
I think we
whatever
got it
station.
on the,
Like people who are watching
on
at
the
home, there's
YouTube
no,
streaming?
yeah, the
Okay.
YouTube, yeah, there's no, I'm sorry.
we'll see if we can figure that out.
Yeah,
I had
thank-
heard that it wasn't on the Zoom, but the Zoom is a different thing.
Right,
so-
and yes,
Yep.
I have Zoom here, but yes.
Okay,
YouTube.
thank you.
Yes, no, thank you, I appreciate it. All right, I do have quite a few speaker slips, and we no longer have the box that is where, I can speak, I want to speak, or I do not want to speak. So if I happen to call your name and you're just giving your support, but you don't want to speak on the item, just let me know. All right, so first, we have Erin Lippman. And I think I'm just going to call like the next couple of speakers. If you wish to speak, you can just come forward. Ashley Miller and Chastity Jackson. So we'll go back to Erin Lippman.
Good evening, Aaron Lippman, Aaron, P as in Paul, P as in Peter, MAN, and I'm the CEO of Carmen Schools of Science and Technology. SASI Committee, all MPS board members, Charter Renewal Team, and especially Lisa Haar and Bridget Schock, thank you for your time, support, and commitment to helping Carmen accelerate student growth now and into the future. We look forward to continuing our important partnership with MPS as we all work together toward our shared goal of helping students reach their full potential and ultimately building a stronger future for Milwaukee. Our mission is to ensure that the more than 350 students in the Carmen Northwest community graduate as critical thinkers and self-directed learners prepared for success in college, meaningful careers, community involvement, and family life. Our partnership with MPS has been mutually beneficial to Carmen Northwest, MPS, and most importantly, our students, families, and the broader community. Through our collaboration, MPS provides overall thought partnership, important expertise on special education, support and operations, the opportunity to learn from other non-instrumentality charter schools, and provides a framework for accountability as an authorizer. Ongoing partnership means we share best practices, ideas, and resources to better support all students. We genuinely appreciate the considerable effort that members of the MPS Charter Review Committee made during their thorough evaluation of our application for renewal. They took a deep dive into all aspects of our curriculum, systems, pedagogy, and culture at Carmen Northwest, including spending a full day at our campus talking with our school leaders, staff, students, and board to ensure they had a complete perspective. Does this mean I get extra time? I'm just kidding. Carmen Northwest has been a proud and stabilizing anchor in the Silver Spring neighborhood for 11 years, a place where families feel seen, valued, and supported. reflecting our deep commitment to this community and the belief that every student in Milwaukee deserves an excellent public education close to home. At Northwest, we are seeing real progress in student performance, culture, and more. Our state report card growth score in math is now approaching the statewide average. Our graduation rates are also closing the gap with statewide metrics, reflecting the momentum our students and staff have created. Our students feel an authentic sense of belonging and pride in their school, just like how many came out tonight. We believe the charter renewal process was comprehensive, transparent, and fair, involving your colleagues on the board, community members, and staff from across MPS, resulting in a recommendation of a 3-year renewal for Carmen Northwest. It is our hope that you will vote to renew our charter, committing to the new renewal process you've adopted, ensuring an equitable outcome for our students, staff, and families, many of whom are here tonight to show support for a school they love, a school that believes in every student's limitless potential and helps each build a brighter future. The present and future of our students and their families depends on your approval. Thank you.
Thank you. Ashley Miller.
All right, go. Good evening. My name is Ashley Miller, and I have the honor of serving as the principal of Carmen Northwest. I've been a part of this school since its very beginning, 10 years of watching it grow from an idea into a thriving campus that prepares students for college, careers, community involvement, and family life. When people ask why this school matters, I think about our students. I think about the middle schooler who came to us quiet and unsure. 3 years later, she's helping launch our first student-led mentorship program, connecting middle and high school students to real career experiences. I think about the senior who attended 3 different high schools before finding Carmen. Here, he found belonging and belief. Today, he has college acceptances and scholarships that once felt out of reach. And I think about the students who don't have their plan yet, but who feel safe enough here to try, to learn, and to dream. These stories are not luck. They are the result of a community that believes in doing the work they work every single day. Over the past 3 years, that work has spoken for itself. We grew 7 points on the last state report card. 66% of our 8th graders returned for high school, and 100% of our seniors were accepted to college. But Carmen Northwest is more than just a school. It's a vital part of our community. It's a part of the city that has often been overlooked. Northwest stands as a place of belonging, excellence, and hope. It's where high expectations meet high support, where students are surrounded by caring adults who believe in them, and where young people discover their voices and their purpose. We're proud of how far we've come, but we know pride alone isn't enough. At Carmen Northwest, we believe our best work is still ahead of us. Every success fuels our drive to grow, reflect, and do even better for our students each year. That's why we're asking the committee and Milwaukee Board of School Directors to approve the Charter Review Committee's recommendation for a 3-year renewal of Carmen Northwest so we can continue building on our momentum, deepening our impact, and proving what's possible for students in this community. We are on time, we are on task, and we are on a mission.
We have Chastity Jackson, Faith Mans, and then Tareen Hamilton.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Chastity, Chasity Jackson. As you can see, I am a proud parent of Carmen Northwest High School. I have a student, one of my students graduated from Carmen last year. And I have another student in Carmen who has been there since 6th grade, and who will graduate from Carmen Northwest also. The reason I'm here tonight, I'm here to support Carmen as a parent who has been in the Carmen family for quite some time. I've watched my child, who is now still in Carmen, I've watched him grow tremendously in Carmen. I've watched him change. I've watched as Carmen has supported me and my family over the years, academically, emotionally, just all those things. And so tonight we are here to ask that you all renew the charter for Carmen. Also, I love Carmen because it's right in my neighborhood. I live really close to Carmen. My son can walk to and from school, and that's important to me. I also love the fact that Carmen is very dedicated to my son's education, and it's an easy place I can go and I can talk to the staff. I love the fact that there's unfortunately, in today's world, we have to have safety in our schools. But I love the fact that Carmen cares so much about my child's safety. They keep very informative. They keep us informed on what's going on at all times, and I love that. I feel very safe with my son being at Carmen Northwest High School. And I just ask you all to renew Carmen's charter for at least the time while my son is in the school. Also, I just wanted to make this little point. I have a 9-year-old grandson, and he always say to me, Granny, when I graduate to the 6th grade, I'm going to Carmen. So I really want to see that fulfilled. I want to see my grandchildren at Carmen Northwest High School. So thank you all for your time tonight. Thank you.
We have Faith Manns,
How y'all doing?
Torin Hamilton,
No, Eddie West for Carmen. But I'm speaking on Carmen because
Could you-
it's a great school.
Excuse me, sir, would you mind just stating your name for the record?
Eddie West.
Okay. So we're trying to go, I have a stack of names, so if you filled out a speaker slip?
I did.
All right, we'll get to you.
Right, I'm on it. I'm ready to go
That's
now.
okay, that's all right. So I did have Faith Manns, maybe just wants to show support for this item, but not speaking? Faith Manns? Okay.
Be patient. Good evening, everyone. My name is Faith, and I'm a current sophomore at Carmen Northwest. Carmen Northwest is a building of success and meaningful career opportunities. Carmen will always have things in place to ensure your readiness for your career and your future, no matter what you want to do. Our college career team works tirelessly to put things and amazing opportunities in place for students, no matter what they want to do, such as our student internship program, which I happen to be a part of. Our student internship program includes opportunities for all students that have a field or, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Take your time.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous.
You're doing a great job.
Our college career team works tirelessly to put things in place and amazing opportunities for our students, such as our student internship program, which I happen to be a part of. The student internship program includes opportunities for all students to get a feel of the career path of their interest or anything they have a feel for. To also ensure students' readiness for the future, we have networking opportunities such as our college fairs where local colleges, businesses, and grassroots organizations come to Carmen, and students are able to make meaningful connections for now and for the future. Carmen, make sure that you know or at least have a feel for what you want to do, which I'm forever grateful for. Before entering Carmen, I had dreams that have now become reality. With the support of the Carmen community and the networking opportunities that was given to me due to being at Carmen Northwest. The mentors that I have gathered during this experience have been one of the amazing things in my life, and I will forever be grateful for it because it will always further my education. I am one of 1,000 examples of why it is important that you continue to allow us to thrive and renew our charter at Carmen Northwest.
Could I please have Torin Hamilton, London.
I'm nice, baby.
London Robin, and then maybe Malik Fitzpatrick could get ready.
Good afternoon. My name is Torian Hamilton, and I am a junior and a proud student at Carmen Northwest. As I reflect on my journey here, I can honestly say that it's been transformative. Carmen is more than just a school. It's a strong, supportive community. We don't just learn side by side. We grow together, challenge each other, and push one another to be our best. What makes Carmen special is its deep focus on college readiness. Every class, opportunity, and piece of guidance is designed to prepare us for the future. From rigorous academics to leadership experience, Carmen has taught us not only what to learn, but how to lead with confidence and resilience. I've been part of Carmen since 6th grade, and the support I've received from teachers, staff, and peers have shaped who I am today. They believed in me when I didn't believe in myself, and I believe helped me discover my own strength. Because of Carmen, I know I am ready for college and beyond. I am proud to represent a school that empowers students to dream big and achieve even bigger. That's why it's so important to continue allowing Carmen to thrive by renewing its charter. Thank you.
We have London Robbie, Malik Fitzpatrick, and then maybe Micaiah Turner could come down.
Good evening. My name is Malik Fitzpatrick, and I am a current junior at Carmen Northwest. I come here today to stand here today and speak, and not only celebrate our accomplishments, but also our potential. We recognize the trust placed in us by our community and pledge to continue striving for academic excellence, innovation, and character development. Our school charter serves as a guiding framework, shaping our values, goals, and actions. As we renew our charter, we reaffirm our promise to provide a nurturing environment, creativity, and empower students to become active, responsible, and compassionate members of society. Let us continue to work together, united in our pursuit of excellence as we embark on this new chapter in our school's journey. And I just want to thank y'all for letting me come up here and speak today.
We have Robbie London, who supports the item, but I'm not sure if Robbie London is, or I'm sorry, London Robbie.
My name is Linda Roby. I'm a current sophomore at Carmen Northwest. Carmen Northwest has one of the best sports and internship programs for students. They include basketball, volleyball, cross country, and more. For the internships, they have many different places that introduce different career paths. Before attending Carmen Northwest, I was confused about what path I wanted to take in life and thinking just because I wasn't in high school or an adult, I shouldn't worry about it. Seeing the basketball teams really sparked the light in me, which pushed me to join the girls' basketball team. I played all of middle school, my freshman year, and now my sophomore year with some of the best sports directors and coaches. I was then introduced to the SIP, which is the Student Internship Program, and my love for law sprouted. I was given an internship with Godfrey and Kahn, and it's all been a bliss. Carmen Northwest basketball and internship programs have opened many doors for me and gave me a purpose that I didn't have before. My experience is merely one example of why it's important that you continue letting Carmen Northwest grow alongside students by renewing the Carmen Northwest Charter Petition. Thank you.
I have Micaiah Turner, Camilla Moore, and Deja Russell Bannister.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Micaiah Turner, and I am a proud student of Carmen Northwest of 5 years. During my time at Carmen, I have been able to take classes and attend extracurricular activities that have stretched me as a person. I have teachers and mentors that work with me daily to ensure the goals that I can reach for myself. When I first came to Carmen, I felt very welcome. It was a feeling that I will never forget. I instantly knew I belonged here. The love and support from staff to students is like no other. Because of Carmen, I am a student athlete, a critical thinker, a member of Drumline, a public speaker, a self-directed learner, and I am Micaiah Turner. Carmen Northwest has helped me and many more students in my community grow, not only as people, but also as leaders in our community. The power of Carmen is very strong. Myself and others have built very strong friendships and bonds with the students and staff. For these reasons, I believe Carmen Northwest deserves another 3-year charter renewal. The impact of this school is clear. We will continue to change the narrative around academics for scholars in Milwaukee. I strongly urge the Board of Directors to vote yes and approve Carmen Northwest for another 3-year charter. Thank you.
Camilla Moore.
I'm going to quickly remind everybody to spell your last name when you come up. So say your first name and spell your last name.
My name is Camille Moore, Moore, and I'm a current 9th grade student at Carmen Northwest. At Carmen Northwest, we do a lot of things. A few things I am in are the Student Council, Art Club, and Anime Club. Carmen Northwest has many staff members that help students succeed. One staff member that helped me a whole lot while I was in 7th and 8th grade was a social worker named Miss Kenya. At Carmen Northwest, we may not be the perfect people, but we always will make it known that we can be at our best without trying to be perfect. At Carmen Northwest, we make it known that all kids anywhere and everywhere should feel and be safe at our school. Even through the good and the bad, we try to make sure all kids are at their best, at the best as they believe they can be. My testimony is why it's so important that you continue to let Carmen thrive by renewing the Carmen Northwest Charter.
Thank you. Deja Russell Bannister. And then Justin Robbie.
All right, my name is Deja Russell Bannister, RUSSELL-BANISTER. Sorry in advance, my mama was long-winded. I am a proud alum of Carmen Northwest. For me, Carmen represents strength and community. As a student, I had a chance to grow in ways that I did not know existed, joining programs at the medical college, working under an alderman, and excelling in my schoolwork. Knowing that even in college, I had support of Northwest, whether that be Tamika Lawrence sending me care packages, Ashley Miller buying my biology books, and even flying to New Orleans to see me cross the stage. I knew if I couldn't find support anywhere, I could find it in Northwest. I now serve as the Assistant Director of Career Readiness, and in this role, I'm able to watch my students soar and become well-rounded members of the community. I'm able to help them initiate connections within our community and even tutor them when needed. I love being a prime example that Carmen Northwest works, showing my students that someone like them who's been there and done that can not only succeed within Carmen, but within our community, all while coming back to serve that same community. And that there is what we strive for. We want to graduate well-rounded individuals to serve within our community in their very own special way. Our students deserve a community that believes in them, a community who shops at the same grocery stores, a community who sees them beyond count day, a community that sees them when no one else does. That's why Carmen Northwest deserves to be renewed. Our students deserve a fighting chance with a community who's not only willing to fight for them, but to fight with them. Our students are committed to being on time, on task, and on a mission.
All right, we have Justin Robbie and then Sierra Basham.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Justin Roby, Justin, B as in boy, Y. Good evening, wonderful humans. Again, I'm Dr. Justin Roby, and I have the pleasure of serving as a mathematics instructor for Carmen Northwest High School and after-school club coordinator for the Carmen Northwest campus. I am the club advisor for our theater, anime, and GSA clubs. I also have the pleasure of serving on several local boards in executive roles and possess 20 years of nonprofit experience. I am proud to stand alongside the Carmen family in a humble request to renew our charter. Carmen names science and technology as pivotal constructs. They are within the name of our institution. What is unspoken is the belief that math is equally important. It has served as our #2 goal for our entire network as we lean into proven methodologies to increase student growth and learning. On my first day, I was provided with a coach, content team, course team, and grade level team to ensure I looked at all data elements that are critical factors in our scholars' education. Many nights I have cried in the shower as I reflect on my long day. Not because I hate my job, but from weeping in frustration of wanting this knowledge sooner. There are many times when I'm teaching my scholars concepts that I needed in college, but weren't provided in high school. I owe it to my ancestors to not gatekeep this knowledge from scholars who are hungry for it. My passion for math has challenged some of my scholars to go above and beyond. For instance, Keyshawn Johnson was so excited to take Algebra 2 with me, he studied over the summer. This quarter, his ambition helped him achieve the highest benchmark score in all 3 of our schools. I can't wait to write that letter of recommendation to Howard Law. I could go on endlessly with the list of scholars whom I await for their future with bated breath. However, this all depends on you renewing our charter. While we know we deserve a 5-year charter, I humbly ask the Board of Directors to renew our charter for the 3 years that we have earned. I sincerely appreciate each of you for making this space available. Thank you.
Sarah Basham, Becky Buss, and then Arabelle Wright. If you want to kind of come forward.
Hi, my name is Sierra Basham, and I am an 8th grader. I've been in Carmen ever since 6th grade, and now I have a sister that is in 6th grade and loves the way everything the school does for her and the students. I do cheerleading at Carmen Northwest. The thing I love is how everyone finds a way to come all together and become a family. I love how good the education is. They will slow things down so you will understand it more, and make sure if you don't understand, they will keep working with you until you understand everything. As well as the communication with the teachers, they will always be there for help. And if you ever need someone to talk to, you can count on the teachers. They'll be like your therapist. I want to stick with Carmen because of the education and how everyone is a family. And I would like you to renew Carmen. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. So I know we have some students coming in to sit, but if Becky Buss can make her way to the front, Arabelle Wright, and then Dupree Fletcher. I'm looking for Becky Buss.
My name is Becky Buss, B-U-S-S. I am the mother of Sierra Basham, and I have a 6th grade student. I like Carmen for the fact that it's like a family for the kids. Sierra is now in 8th grade. She will be going into high school next year. And with the school and the academics, they've pushed her. Compared to everything in 5th grade, from 5th grade on, she has progressed immensely, like progress after progress after progress, and it's great. The communication is wonderful for the parents to the teachers and all the faculty. It's a wonderful feeling to have as a minority group. For her, fitting into the school it meant a lot to me. I think with Carmen being on the north side, it's a great school to have over there for academic-wise. Everything takes time. Education-wise, takes time to fix everything, fix the academic wise, get it better. I like the school. I love the school, and I have another student that'll be going into Carmen in 2 years. So I hope you guys can all approve the renewal for Carmen Northwest. Thank you.
My name is Dupree Fletcher, Fletcher. I've been with Carmen for about 5 years. I'm a proud parent alumni as well as the head varsity coach. The reason why for me is I'm a single black father, and without the help of Carmen, I don't think I would have been able to get my kids to college as they did. In the last few years, we can send several kids to play, basketball for free, which is tremendous for us, dealing with all black kids and all minority kids, to be honest. I went to Rufus King, so I didn't have that. I don't really know what to say too much. Like, without Carmen, I don't think I'll be standing here right here in this space. Like, a lot of stuff that happened in my life, a lot of stuff that happened in my kids' life, and without them, I wouldn't be here, my kids wouldn't be where they're at, and that's just point blank what it is with me, so.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Could I please have Arabelle Wright? Arabelle Wright and Ari Fields Cares? Sorry if I'm mispronouncing names.
Okay. Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Arabelle Wright, and I'm in 8th grade. I recently joined Carmen Northwest this year, and I only have positive feelings about Carmen Northwest. My older brother has graduated last year from Carmen Northwest, and he was doing great in school, which made me think to myself, how can I improve myself to end up like him? I used to misbehave, and my grades were terrible, but when I joined Carmen, I felt like I belonged and I wasn't left out. I haven't felt like I was in danger every day. I just felt like I was meant to be here. Ever since I started at Carmen, I have been more helpful and happy. I brought my grades up with the confidence of my peers and Carmen by my side. I am happy to say that I am a proud Carmen Northwest student, and I ask that you renew Carmen Northwest. Thank you for listening.
And then, we've got Ari.
My name is Ari Fields Carnes, Fields, is also hyphenated, Carnes. I'm an alumni at Carmen Northwest. When it comes to Carmen, Carmen has done a lot for me. Carmen is a place where any kind of people can grow and learn from it. Ever since freshman year of Carmen Northwest up until my freshman year in college, I've been through my share of experience there. Like, for example, how we will go on fun trips when we do good, or we have Carmen Days at the end of the year to celebrate for all the good work and hardships we had. Carmen is a place for you to not only study and learn, but to make good relationships and have fun, too. They have so much to offer. You probably already heard it from the others, but they also have internships and clubs you might be interested, etc. Carmen made me feel whole. Like, before I came to Carmen, it was rough for me. I didn't have that many resources, companionships, nothing. But ever since I came to Carmen, it was really good for me. I was starting to have good relationships, good resources, the works. I would never trade it for the world, honestly. Like, for real. I would never trade it for real. Because of Carmen, I'm more seen than I've ever thought I would. I'm valued, and I'm for the best. I want the best for my successfulness and for all the people who are also going to Carmen. So please, if you can, please renew the charter.
Please, we back again. And for the kids who are going to Carmen, they will benefit a lot. They will benefit so much for it, and we need it. We do. Thank you for your time. Have a nice night.
And we have Tatiana Johnson. We were just handed a speaker slip. Tatiana Johnson. Oh, there she is. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tatiana Johnson, Johnsson, and I am a current senior of Carmen Northwest. Carmen has started to make more engaging clubs that give students the ability to express themselves and allow them to meet other students that you might otherwise not meet, like GSA and Art Club. When I was coming back from COVID to Carmen, I didn't know anyone and felt unwelcome. After joining GSA, I was able to flourish and be who I was meant to be a scholar that extended to my career and my school life. Getting into several internships and getting a job that will help me save for the future. I'm so grateful for these experiences and the people I met along the way. My testimony is one of the reasons that is so important to keep Carmen going by renewing the Carmen Northwest Charter petition.
Thank you. All right. Do we have any virtual speakers this evening? Dr. Owen Moore?
Not on this item.
All right. That concludes our public testimony. Do committee members wish to make comments or ask questions?
I know that Director Reza is on Zoom and wanted to share some comments on her experience.
Sure. We could go to her first. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I had the pleasure of being part of the charter review for Carmen. Carmen Northwest should be given an opportunity for this renewal. Now, I'm only speaking because it builds such a strong character, but also builds so much togetherness into the community. The school continues to demonstrate strong relationships with families, meaningful academic growth, and commitment to the meeting students' unique academic and social emotional needs. Families in this community have voiced their support, and students deserve the continuity and resources of renewal that this will provide. Carmen Northwest can continue to build its progress, expanding opportunities, and delivering the kind of academic programming that our young people rely on. So it's not just a school that needs to be renewed. It's about the impact of the neighborhood, the partnership with families, and the responsibility to provide stable and high-quality options for Milwaukee students. So I strongly support in granting Carmen West for a 3-year renewal to bring such a positive impact and to remain strong partner in serving for our students and for our families and community. Thank you.
Thank you. So we do have another speaker slip, and I just had to go back and read the script because technically, once the committee begins its discussion, we're not supposed to go back to the public. However, I will override that for right now. Could we have Quentin Claiborne who would like to speak, I believe, on this item? Thank you.
Hey, so sorry, won't happen again. I-94, am I right? Hey, everybody, you heard, Quentin Claiborne, K-L-A-B-O-N. Hey, everybody, you heard a lot of wonderful personal testimony. I'm here to bring boring numbers. I have 2 points. You should renew Carmen Northwest for at least 3 years. Whatever length you renew Carmen, you should provide the same length renewal to La Cosa, since they perform essentially the same, with Carmen Northwest slightly better. So state report cards came out Tuesday. They're basically worthless. You should ignore them. The formula stinks, so the results just correlate with poverty. That's the opposite of what they're supposed to do. A better way to compare schools across the state is just control for poverty. That way, whether you are in the northern Milwaukee suburbs or on the north side of Milwaukee, you are being compared on a level playing field. When you do that and look at Milwaukee Public Schools, almost all of the MPS charters rank among your highest performing schools. Of 121 schools with forward scores, Whittier ranks 3rd, Ideal ranks 9th, Carmen Northwest ranks 39th, and Tulsa ranks 41st. I think both Carmen staff and MPS's leadership would agree that Northwest does have room to improve. 3 years could be an appropriate renewal. But if you have a school that is in the top third of your portfolio, maybe protect it for the long term by renewing Carmen Northwest for 5 years. If you do go with 3, all I ask is that you treat all schools fairly. Next up, you're encouraged to give La Cosa 5 years. It doesn't make sense to treat a school that performs basically the same, in fact, even underperforms a little bit, a different charter renewal. So 3 years, hopefully, 5 years, consider it. Thanks so much.
Thank you. We are going to go back to committee. So committee members, do you wish to, and I'm going to ask the audience if you could quiet down
Jesus.
so that the
you.
committee can begin its part of the conversation. Thank you so much. All right, committee members who wish to make comments or ask questions. All right, I see. We have you're going to go, okay, all right. And I'm sorry, I forgot to acknowledge that President Zombor has joined us for the meeting. She was present during the public testimony, just so the listening audience is aware. President Zombor.
Thank you. So I'd like to begin by thanking Carmen staff, teachers, families, and students for welcoming the Charter Review team for a full-day visit. The school was well prepared for the conversations. It was evident that there were many talented and dedicated educators at Carmen Northwest and that students are eager to learn. All that said, I think there are some tough conversations that we do have to have tonight. First, we need to address a significant inaccuracy that appeared in the renewal documents, and it was repeated in discussions throughout the review team's visit. So the application states that Carmen Northwest was ranked among the top 10 Milwaukee area high schools by U.S. News and World Report, and it said Northwest, but in reality it was Carmen South Campus that received this recognition, not Carmen Northwest. This matters because some of the parents in our focus group also believed the ranking applied to the Northwest campus. Accurate and honest representation is critical, especially when families rely on this information to make informed decisions about their child's education. Second, we can't ignore the ongoing academic concerns. Year after year, the data shows that Carmen Northwest continues to have substantial room for improvement in academic proficiency. They continue to fall far below academic standards in English language arts and math, and they only approach the standards in science. And while I appreciate our contracted school services team worked very hard on a new review scorecard, I still don't know if we quite hit the mark on how the scores are calculated. Right now, a school can perform 10 percentage points or more below district averages or decline year after year on 2 of the 5 academic performance measures that are written directly into their contract and still receive a 3-year renewal. In exchange for autonomy, charter schools are supposed to perform better than the MPS average. And to be clear, the contract doesn't say better than a handpicked sampling of schools in a certain zip code or alternative MPS schools or partnership schools or the lowest performing MPS schools. The contract says the same as or higher than the percentage of pupils scoring proficient or advanced in corresponding grades in all MPS schools. So I think we need to take a closer look at our accountability framework and do a little more fine-tuning on that scorecard so that the score can match the intent of the contract requirements as it relates to academic performance metrics. It's not fair for the school, the board, or the administration to get a 3-year review team recommendation, and then we all get up on here and look at the scores and wonder what the heck happened. Finally, we need to also confront the elephant in the room, and to be clear, this isn't what I'd base my decision on, but I think it's something that we as a board have to talk about, and that's the fact that Carmen has been distancing itself from MPS. The renewal letter states that Carmen will not seek renewal for the South and Southeast campuses, and that the Carmen Board of Directors unanimously agreed that was because MPS chose to end co-location. And I would add that's a co-location that was harming students and did not offer viable alternative buildings. But here's the thing, Carmen had already begun seeking a site to build a new school before MPS voted to end the co-locations. And quite frankly, I'm not aware of another Milwaukee charter authorizer, UWM included, that have available turnkey, ready-to-use buildings for charter schools. No other authorizer would be responsible for locating a building for Carmen. The only charter schools that are required to operate in MPS facilities are MPS instrumentality schools. So I think the reason for the other two schools leaving MPS is an excuse. If Carmen truly planned to remain part of the MPS family, they would have authorized their middle and elementary schools with MPS long before we voted on the co-locations. It's also possible that another charter school authorizer would not accept a school that has received fails to meet expectations on its report card for 3 consecutive years. And perhaps Carmen's leadership knows this. And instead of withdrawing from MPS themselves and risk not getting accepted by another authorizer, they would prefer the narrative be that the MPS board pushed them out. It's easier to make us the bad guys. So we must also remember that the South campuses that are moving to UWM were originally established under MPS authorization. Their early success was built with district partnership, district oversight, district resources, oftentimes at the expense of other MPS schools. And as we consider this renewal, we owe it to our families and students and taxpayers to insist on accuracy in the information presented, to ensure that our accountability standards for charter schools actually mean something, and to make decisions grounded in both current performance and long-term sustainability. Since I'm not a committee member, I don't vote tonight, but I share these thoughts on the difficult decision we have to make. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Zomborg. Any other committee members who wish to make comments? Director Fonz.
So when I ran for District 5 office, I ran as an advocate for public schools. And I think that non-instrumentality charter schools are not compatible with that mission. I have nothing against any of the students, staff, or people who work at Carmen or La Causa or any of the other non-instrumentality schools. But I feel that we as a society need to support public schools. And the lack of social fabric that we now see within our country, within our state, within our city, is at its center. What is needed are public schools. And non-instrumentality schools do not serve that vision for the larger society. Many of you may feel very connected to Milwaukee, to maybe MPS, to the city, to the state, to the country. But that's not why they started non-instrumentality schools. They did it to try to destroy public schools. And I'm not going to be part of that mission. So I will vote no on all non-instrumentality schools while I'm on the school board at Milwaukee Public Schools.
Thank you. Director Herndon, I saw your hand next.
Thank you very much. I too visited Carmen a couple months ago, Carmen Northwest, and saw that the students were very engaged, et cetera. However, when it comes to this particular process, I have to say that I was surprised by the scores in English and mathematics. For me, I look at those two curriculums as those that are utmost in the education of any student. And the reason why I say that is because the ability to speak language appropriately and successfully, and how do you get away from exceeding in mathematics and having a successful career and a successful future? The fact of the matter is that you can't, and as my partners on the board, some of them mentioned, that in itself is not acceptable. And we are committed in our representing on this stage that we all strive for the best for each and every one of the students. And I think that for me, it would be negligent of me to ignore that.
Thank
That's
you.
it.
Thank you. Director Benoit?
As a public school teacher my whole life as well, I've never been a big fan of non-instrumentality charter schools. I do think that they were established to destroy public school as well. And so I've always wondered why not an instrumentality charter school? And I wonder, with the majority of Carmen schools going to a different charter body, why couldn't why couldn't Carmen Northwest become an instrumentality charter and take advantage of some of the supports MPS could offer, and maybe, build on that and become stronger and, keep that community, keep that power, keep everything that you have, but become more and become part of us. That may be a solution, that may be something, I don't know if that's even possible. I don't know how that works, but that's something that I've always wondered. And I think it's something that could be discussed or thought about at a later date. It's just something that I wanted to bring up and see if that could be some sort of solution. Or
Director Benoit, would you like do you want an answer now, or?
Is there an answer now, or is that something?
Administration? The question is,
could it be changed from a non-instrumentality charter school to an instrumentality charter school and take advantage of some of MPS's supports and become?
Administration?
Yeah, Chair Simpson, members of the committee, Bridget Schock, Director of Contracted School Services, that would be something that they have their own governing board that they would have to agree to do.
Director Benoit, any follow-up? Okay, thank you. Director Ferguson?
Thank you, Chairwoman. I, too, have had an opportunity to visit Carmen, and I'll preface the statement that I'm going to make by saying that I am very critical of schools in particular, especially schools that do not serve the students and families well. In visiting Carmen, and also sharing quite a few students with Carmen through my own work in the community, I do have a lot of respect for this school. This is not one of those non-instrumentality charter schools that are not serving their students or their families well. I know the difference between a rigorous program and people that are just collecting money on the backs of our students. I know the difference, and Carmen is not one of those schools. What I will say is the report card, the scorecard, is the numbers don't lie, and it's quite clear that Carmen needs support in the area of academics. So my question is, and I'm actually really grateful to see all of these students that are here today, because for me, it will always hinge on what is best for students, what is best for the kids. Beyond anything else, it's what's most important to me is what is best for students. And I've stood before a lot of students, and I know when students are genuinely engaged and happy with their school. And my question for administration, this is obviously, it's a tough decision that's going to be made here tonight. I think for all of us, for all of the board members that are here tonight. But my question for administration is, in the event that we approve this contract tonight, what kind of support program do we have in place to help our charter schools turn this around? For example, these academic scores. Because we do know that it's not somebody else's job. These are our kids. And it's all of our jobs to make sure that they're successful and that their futures are secured. And so my challenge and my question for Bridget and the superintendent is, what can be done? What is there possible? What tools do we have to help our students perform better.
Administration.
Chair Simpson, members of the committee, Bridget Schock, Director of Contracted School Services. So a 3-year, if it's a 3-year contract, we provide, they have access to all of our professional development that the district provides. They receive one-on-one coaching from us, from our department, where we go into the school and work with the school leader. We do instructional walks to make sure like we're focusing on the areas that need growth. They're required to use our school improvement plan. It's outlined, we have it outlined in the report card as the scorecard as well, that kind of list everything. So everything in the green and then the yellow would be everything that they would receive. And we'd work with their school leadership just to make sure. I will say, Carmen, when we were there, they spoke of their coaching model, and that the teachers really shared how it was individualized to their needs, and based off of what areas of improvement or goals that they were trying to accomplish for student outcomes. So there is a wraparound support that the organization provides their teachers. We would just be that additional layer to help support them in that.
Director Ferguson?
So I would just say, thank you, Bridget. Accountability is key. And we're at a point in our history with Milwaukee Public Schools where we have to hold everybody accountable. That's ourselves, that's our traditional public schools, that's our partner schools, that's our charter schools, everybody. And so just for our colleagues on the board, a lot of you have been here a lot longer than I have, and I do appreciate the feedback that the review committee did provide to us. And so whatever the outcome tonight is for this school in particular, I hope as a board we kind of lock arms on the idea of creating better structures for the schools that we are in partnership with. So, thank you.
Thank you. I think everybody has had an opportunity to speak. I'll just say a few things.
Pass the gavel?
Oh, sure, I'll pass the gavel in theory to, or virtually, to Chair or Co-Chair, Vice Chair, Director Vinoy. So just a few things. So one, I think, part of when we talk about supports for schools, I think part of what happens with our charter schools is that there's that sense of autonomy, So we have a plan, and, part of what's, nice about those charter schools is, they're supposed to come with innovation, new ideas, have that autonomy to enact it. So when it's not working, then, we have to kind of take a really thoughtful look at that. Like, why is that not working? So I think we've all been out to Carmen Northwest, and so, sometimes this feels really personal because, it's person to person, student, teacher, board director. It is a very hard conversation to have, and I just really appreciate everybody who is here speaking publicly and all of the board directors who are speaking on it because it's really tough. There is nothing easy about this. But what stands out to me are the test scores, particularly in English language arts and math, and that it's been, consistent over time that we've seen these low scores and that they are below the district. And one of the sort of promises of the charter schools is to, we're going to be innovative. We have this autonomy. We're going to do things so that our schools perform better than the traditional schools. And then the other one is the culture and climate also was a concern to me because of the disproportionality rate of suspensions with students who have disabilities. That concerned me. And then also the idea of recruitment and retention of staff. So those are all just really serious things to think about as we consider whether or not to renew a contract with Carmen Northwest for 3 years. So I just wanted to kind of share my thoughts on that as well. And I will take the gavel back. Director Benoit, thank you. Is there any further discussion by members of the board? Director Herndon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I wanted to ask our board clerk, is it possible to make this decision with the full board rather than trying to make that decision tonight without the full board?
Yes.
I believe just a motion.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, I move that we make this decision under the guise of the full board, with the full board. I don't know if I have that totally worded right.
So with no recommendation tonight.
Advance to the board without a recommendation.
Okay. I move that we advance this item to full board without recommendation.
Okay. Any further, I don't think we need a second on that, but I just, before we take a vote, any further discussion from any members of the board? Director Zambor, President Zambor?
Thank you. I would just add, I mean, even if the committee votes on it tonight, and if there's any board members who are here that disagree, it can always get pulled at the full board, and we can vote again at the full board. So regardless of what the committee decides tonight, there's an opportunity for people not here.
All right, so we do have a motion on the floor, and yes, Director Herndon? Okay, all right.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Can we just check to see if Director Reza is?
She
trying to
is not
speak?
a voting
Okay.
member. Yeah, so it's, so, all right. So on that motion, maybe just reread it, and then would you please call the roll?
On Director Herndon's motion to advance this item to the full board without a recommendation, Director Ferguson?
Aye.
Director Fons?
No.
Director Herndon?
Aye.
Director Vanoy?
Aye.
And Chair Stevenson.
Aye.
That's 4 ayes, the motion passes.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, next item, please.
Madam Chair, item 3 is action on a recommendation to approve the renewal of the non-instrumentality charter school contract for La Causa, Inc. for La Causa Charter School. The administration recommends that the board, 1, approve the renewal of a 5-year non-instrumentality charter school contract with La Causa, Inc., and 2, authorize the superintendent's designee, in consultation with the board's designee and the Office of the City Attorney, to enter into negotiations with representatives of La Causa, Inc. for La Causa Charter School and to draft a renewed non-instrumentality charter school contract to begin with the start of the
I'm sorry, Madam Secretary, maybe we could take like just a brief break. I don't know if we have to go off air, just maybe 5 minutes while we have a transition in the audience.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think so. We're still on, but it looks like people would like to take a recess.
It seems as if we do.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So just, can we do it as short as 3 minutes? Just
Yes,
for people.
3-minute recess.
Okay, thank you. Good evening again, everybody. The committee is back from a short recess. I believe we are on item number 3, Madam Secretary. If you could read that item for us.
Item 3 is action on a recommendation to approve the renewal of the non-instrumentality charter school contract for La Causa, Inc. for La Causa Charter School. The administration recommends that the board, 1, approve the renewal of a 5-year non-instrumentality charter school contract with La Causa, Inc., and 2, authorize the superintendent's designee, in consultation with the board's designee and the Office of the City Attorney, to enter into negotiations with representatives of La Causa, Inc. for La Causa Charter School, and to draft a renewed non-instrumentality charter school contract to begin with the start of the 2026-27 school year and end on the last regularly scheduled day of the 2030-31 school year.
Thank you. Would administration please present the item?
Chair Simpson and members of the committee, Brenda Caselli is superintendent. I am again joined this evening by Bridget Schock, who will provide a summary of the recommendation before you to renew the non-instrumentality charter contract for La Causa, Inc. for La Causa Charter School. After a summary, we'll be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Chair Simpson, members of the committee, Bridget Schock, Director of Contracted School Services. La Causa serves about 424 students in kindergarten through 8th grade, with approximately 60% of their students as English learners. Their mission is to provide innovative, foundational, and culturally rich academic programs focused on fine arts, vocational education, bilingual education, while engaging the entire family and their children's educational experience. La Causa offers rich science, technology, engineering, art, and music courses to its students starting in K-4. They have an attendance rate around 90% and a low suspension rate. La Causa has demonstrated consistent growth in all performance areas for all students. As indicated in the attached at a glance, La Causa has outperformed the state for English language learners in science. The 24-25 state report card reflects and exceeds expectations. This is an increase from the previous year rating that was meets expectations. La Causa has a data-rich approach that is providing meaningful outcomes for students. The staff, students, families, and governance board have an aligned mission where all are invested in the school community. La Causa is financially and organizationally sound. They scored an 85.3 for a full-term 5-year charter contract. At this time, we can answer any questions you have.
Thank you. We do have some members of the public who wish to speak, so we will go to our speaker slips first. Apologies again for the mispronunciation of any names. We have Abisai Ramirez.
Hello, my name is Abisai Ramirez, R-A-M-I-R-E-Z. Hello, MPS Board of Directors, good afternoon. I'm a 5th grader at La Causa Charter School. I have been here at La Causa since K4. La Causa Charter School has helped me a lot with my intellectual strength, mentally and physically. Also, all teachers at La Causa are always willing to help me with things that challenge me in the school curriculum. In my years, I have noticed how La Causa has shown their influence in other students' mindset, like our teacher, Ms. Nushar, who is my robotics teacher. Ms. Nushar advises us to stay determined optimism, which goes to our teacher, Ms. Ocasio, who was our Spanish language arts teacher, who showed us that even in our saddest moments, there will always be a way to make things better. Understanding who our go to our school directors, Mr. Oman, Ms. Hendricks, and Ms. Schwartz, who have always understood us in a way that no other person could. Going forward, La Causa has many different activities or clubs to go to with other students' preferences, like soccer, basketball, volleyball, and other clubs. I enjoy the classes that they would give. Like, for example, robotics has always been my favorite class, mostly because in that class we experiment with robots and try repeatedly to achieve better results. In my eyes, La Causa is a deeply understanding and safe school. And because of this, I ask for the renewal of our 5-year contract. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Alondra Perez. Alondra Perez. And then we will have Jose Trujillo. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing any names, but that person can come up next. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Good afternoon. My name is Alondra Perez, P-E-R-E-Z, and I'm an 8th grade student at La Casa Charter School. I have been here since the 1st grade, and I have enjoyed my journey since then. I'm proud to be here today to share why this school means so much to me and to so many others. La Casa isn't just a school, it's a community. From the moment I walk through the doors, I feel supported and encouraged to do my best. Our teachers don't just teach lessons, they care about us as people. They make learning exciting, they believe in us even when we doubt ourselves, and they always push us to reach higher. There are also so many opportunities here that make La Casa special, from bilingual programs to fun school events and clubs. We get the chance to explore our interests, discover new talents, and connect with others. My favorite subject is math because my teacher is very understanding of each student's level in the class. She takes the time to make sure everyone understands the lessons and always tries to be fair to everyone. Her patience and support make learning math something I really enjoy. La Casa has helped me grow not only academically but also personally. It has taught me leadership, teamwork, and the importance of giving my best. Thanks to everything I've learned here, I feel ready and confident for high school and for the goals I want to achieve in the future. I'm so grateful to my teachers, the staff, and everyone who makes this school such a positive and welcoming place. I'm proud to be part of La Casa Charter School, and I'll always carry its lessons and spirit with me wherever I go. Thank you.
Thank you. We have Jose next, and then Angelina Velasquez.
Josue, Josue. Hi, good afternoon. I'm an 8th grader. This is my 8th grade year, and I've been here at La Casa since K4. Since this is my last year here, I'm grateful for the chance to share what my time at La Casa has meant to me. My experience here has been amazing because of the teachers and staff who have supported me every step of the way, academically and now with my transition to high school. This school really cares about its students and their future. They take extra time to make sure the students receive all the help they can get to perform at their grade level. However, they don't just teach, they also take the time to build relationships and make sure we feel seen and understood. Because of them, La Casa feels more like a family than just a school. One of my favorite experiences has been being part of the school club. It's helped me make new friends, gain confidence, and connect with my roots through traditional dances. I also enjoy playing guitar, which has allowed me to explore my creativity and discover more about what I'm capable of. What I love most about La Causa is that it doesn't only focus on academics. It also inspires us to use our talents to make the world better. Through community service projects, I've learned the value of helping others and becoming a leader in my community. Several members of my family have either graduated from here or are currently attending, which demonstrates the extent for which this school has helped us and the difference it has made since new generations continue to become part of this family. Thank you.
Thank you. And our next speaker, Angelina Velasquez.
Hi, my name is Angelina Velasquez, Velazquez. I'm a proud parent of La Causa Charter School. When we started considering schools, we didn't pick a building or a school that was close to us. We picked La Causa because I wanted something more. I wanted a place where my kids weren't just a number or weren't just trying to get them from one grade to the next, but where my kids were actually seen as people and embraced for their weird little individualness that they have, that they are. Sorry, little nervous here. When my kids started, my son was in 4th grade and my daughter was in 5th grade. And the fact that my son was playing with robots, like the boy was coding and came home talking about, I want to learn the backside of Minecraft and I want to play with robots and all this other stuff. And my daughter, who is unbelievably shy, has finally came out into herself and who she is as a person. And I don't think that really would have happened if she hadn't had the opportunity for somebody to know who she is. She wasn't just a student. She is Marisol. And Dominic is Dominic. I love the fact that it's not just the social growth, the emotional growth that happens at school. The fact that the academics that the school provides, the bilingual instruction, are things that aren't just academics, they are real world examples. The school, growing up as a Latina, I didn't really go to a school that embraced my heritage and who I was. And at La Causa, they get to embrace that. They have teachers from different countries, from different parts of the world, and it's something that is, when you walk the halls, you see it. It's embraced, and I think that that is beautiful, and I think that that's something that very few schools and very few children get the opportunity to have. Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing. La Causa has been there for us. They've been there for my family from tough drop-offs when my kids are having a very emotional morning, and the school social worker is out there, or our vice principal, Mr. Roman, is out there with drop-offs, and he sees my kids and he sees the rough morning, and it's not a what happened, it's Angie, how can I help you? It's kids, what do you need? Or when I have a problem going on at home, I know that I can call Miss Hendricks and tell her, hey, XYZ is happening, and I don't feel judged. I feel like another parent, and in the world that we live in now, I feel like that's really important.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your testimony. And we did get a speaker's slip from Quentin Claiborne, no need to speak, but he would like us to know he supports this item due to the top third performance of the school. Yes, you may speak. There he is. I saw you and then I lost you. There you are again. No worries.
Yeah, I'll be quick. Quentin Claiborne, K-L-A-B-O-N. Understand philosophical differences with non-instrumentality charter schools. That said, same deal. Top third performance with adjusted for poverty within the district provides a lot of great opportunities that you heard just now. And again, it's meeting specific needs that are not fulfilled in other schools. So hope whether philosophical differences or not, you can see that it's performing well for students, and per the academic plan and lots of other things, right now, holding on to quality academic performance hopefully is paramount. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Do any members of the committee wish to make comments or ask questions? And I don't know if Director Reese says.
She does. She would like to speak.
Okay, maybe we'll go to her first.
Director Reza, can you hear
Hi,
me?
everyone.
Reza, sorry.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
La Casa continues to operate like, financial stability, well-managed school with a clear mission, grounded with bilingual education, fine arts, and a family engagement. This school is part of my district that exceeds the rating state report card, an increase in prior years, and they continue to outperform state in key areas, including English language learners' achievement and science. Students shared their experience in La Causa, which has been amazing. With our young student here, Ramirez, he is so well outspoken, he shows leadership in the future. And I really do think, this really brings an impact, a joy of confidence these students have gained from La Causa, from culture clubs, traditional dance, music programs, like the guitar programs. They have the honor, in creativity. It really brings such a strong commitment to our community and for our families. La Causa is delivering high quality, and it strengthens MPS, which some may not agree, when it comes to charter schools as it is, but you have to see the impact that a partner that it brings to us. Many of us have different opinions, which I have highly respect for our colleagues, but please consider it that La Causa is an exceptional school, especially in my district, to have this renewal established for a 5-year. So thank you.
Thank you. Do any other committee members wish to make comments or ask questions? Seeing none, what is the pleasure of the committee with respect to this item? Director Ferguson.
I move approval of the administration's recommendation.
Thank you so much, Madam. Is there any further discussion? Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
On Director Ferguson's motion to approve the administration's recommendation, Director Ferguson?
Aye.
Director Fons?
No.
Director Herndon?
Aye.
Director Vanoy?
Present.
And Chair Seamson.
Aye.
That's 3 ayes, the motion passes.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Next item, please.
Item 4 is action on a recommendation to approve the renewal of the instrumentality charter school contract for Ideal Charter School, Inc., for individualized developmental educational approaches to learning, IDEAL. The administration recommends that the board, 1, approve the renewal of a 5-year instrumentality charter school contract with Ideal Charter School, Inc., and 2, authorize the superintendent's designee, in consultation with the board's designee and the office of the city attorney, to enter into negotiations with representatives of Ideal Charter School, Inc., for individualized developmental educational approaches to learning, IDEAL, and to draft a renewed instrumentality charter school contract to begin with the start of the 2026-27 school year and end on the last regularly scheduled day of the 2030-31 school year.
Thank you. Would administration please present this item?
Chair Simpson and members of the committee, Brenda Casale as superintendent. With me once again is Bridget Schock, who will provide a summary of the recommendations before you to renew the instrumentality charter school contract for Ideal Charter, Inc. for individualized developmental educational approaches to learning. And after a summary, we are open to questions.
Chair Simpson, members of the committee, Bridget Schock, Director of Contracted School Services. IDEAL is what I'm going to call it. It serves 232 students in grades K through 8 in a multi-age classroom model that builds on thematic units. IDEAL has realized its mission to ensure the healthy development and high academic success of all students through this unique multi-age program. IDEAL provides a collaborative culture where staff share responsibility, review data, and plan lessons that align and build on the standards. IDEAL has exceeded the standards on all academic measures and has maintained an attendance rate around 90%. With 19% English learners from 12 different languages, the school celebrates the many cultures and creates individualized educational pathways, truly living by the name of their school. IDEAL is financially and organizationally sound. It is recommended that the school, we did make a recommendation that the school strengthen its governance board and seek some training on that, just to align with the shared mission. IDEAL received a score of 109 for a full term renewal. At this time, we can answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. We will go to speaker slips now. I have Jennifer Carter. And then right after that, we can have Danielle Gell.
I broke it. Hi, Jennifer Carter, C-A-R-T-E-R. Sorry, I'm looking at him on the side of my face here, sorry. Superintendent Conselius, board directors, Bridget, thank you all so much. Mr. Galvan back there. Thank you all so much for this wonderful opportunity. I'm very proud to say I'm the proud principal of Ideal School, individualized developmental educational approaches to learning, lots of words that mean a lot to all of us. I'm very proud to also say I've been with us all 25 years. So I was a teacher at Ideal, became the lead teacher, and now I'm the principal. So I'm very proud of that. My own kids from age 23 down to 5 have all come to Ideal School, so I'm also very proud of that because I think it says a lot about our community and our strong culture at our building. We are very, very proud to work in MPS. I'm sorry if that's me making the noise, I don't think so. And we are just very proud to continue our mission. Our unique multi-age programming is very unique. We get compared to Montessori a lot. We invite people to come out and see. Students work, or families really get to know the staff as they get to work within those multi-age units and grow. We have a science thematic rotation that we do it's a 3-year cycle. Sorry, I'm all over the place tonight, but I'm just very, very proud of this opportunity again to be here with you this evening and to thank you on behalf of Ideal School for the recommendation, and we look forward to working with you. Thank you. Or continuing to work with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll fix the microphone.
And next, Danielle Gell.
Good evening. My name is Daniel Gell. Last name is spelled G-E-L-L, and I am a proud parent of a daughter that goes to Ideal School. As a former school board member and school board president myself at a rural school in northern Wisconsin, I would just ask the board to really take a look and fundamentally make decisions based on not only creating great environments, but also creating good humans. When you walk into Ideal School, as someone that's new to the district, I'm 100% for public education. Like I said, former board director before, public education is really where it's at, where the focus has to be. But I would say to you that as someone that experienced what I did at a different MPS school, I really lost hope as a brand new member to the community. And I was fortunate enough to stumble upon Ideal School as another option for my child. My daughter is started in 7th grade with special needs. She was taken away and she went to treatment for 3 months during her 7th grade year. And I would say to you, I'd be remiss if those individuals sitting in the back of the room there did not call, did not text, did not email every week to make sure my daughter was okay and that she was coming back. When she came back for this last school year, I would say to you, I was nervous. I was nervous because she academically was going to struggle. The education system that they provide is amazing, but she academically was going to struggle. She was a basic student. She just lives day by day and wants to get through life the way she knows life. She is a proficient student now. She's a proficient student that is achieving academics, not because of her father, but because of those individuals back there that show up every single day and love her for who she is and really take the time to get to know every single student within their program. And I think that says more than any number. It says more than any study. It just shows that you've got good humans teaching humans, and that's what makes a difference in today's society. So I am in full support of a 50-year agreement with them, if that would be possible, but the 5 years is at minimum what they deserve as a program.
Thank you. All right, do committee members wish to make, I'm sorry, do we have any virtual speakers on this item?
We do not.
Okay.
Director Reza may want to speak to this as well.
Hi, everyone. I have been in every charter review. It was a great experience for me. With Ideal, for me, they really do show a positive impact for our community and for MPS. As you've heard from testimonies from parents, it is what it's called, Ideal. You know, it's cultural diversity, it creates individualized educational pathways. In many ways, you know, school truly lives up to its name, meeting each student's unique need. You know, it's also financially organized somewhat as it is, but, you know, the recommendation is that I really do support this, you know, as a 5-year renewal. It really brings an impact. So, as a strong advocate, you know, I really do support this. So, thank you.
Thank you. All right, do other committee members wish to make comments or ask questions? Director Ferguson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would just say, for starters, the report card that we have before us is pretty impressive. And so congratulations to the school staff and administration. I have not had an opportunity to visit Ideal, but I would absolutely love to come and check out your program, especially if it's producing results like the ones we're looking at today. The most important thing to me is our students being able to thrive and flourish. And from what we're looking at, it sounds like your program is a part of what's right for our students. And so I look forward to visiting.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other committee members wishing to make comments? Seeing none, what is the pleasure of the committee with respect to this item? Director Ferguson?
I move approval of the administration's recommendation.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
On Director Ferguson's motion to approve the administration's recommendation, Director Ferguson.
Aye.
Director Fonz.
Aye.
Director Herndon.
Aye.
Director Vanoy.
Aye.
And Chair Seamson.
Aye.
That's 5 ayes, the motion passes.
Madam Secretary, next item, please.
Madam Chair, item 5 is action on a request to approve the district library plan. The administration recommends approval of the district library plan.
Thank you. Would administration please present this item?
Chair Seamson and members of the committee, Brenda Caselli as superintendent. At the September 11th SASI meeting, the administration presented the library plan as an informational item. This month, we've listed this plan as an action item for the board approval. Ms. Adelon is here with me to give a brief overview of the information presented in September as we recommend your approval of the district library plan.
Just having a little technology trouble here, but we're about to go.
Okay, thank you. Chair Seamson and members of the committee, Renee Laird-Adelon, District Library Media Specialist. I'm so very happy to be here with you this evening to speak about library. Just to let you know, the library media specialists serve 94 schools. 27 of the schools have a full-time librarian. We have a total of 46 library media specialists, 2 library media specialist coaches, and 30 library paraprofessionals. And I'm proud to say that we don't have any openings in libraries, so that's really great.
And we're just getting ready for the presentation.
All right. Okay, required Wisconsin library plan. In Wisconsin, school districts are required to develop long-range plans for library services as outlined in the Wisconsin Administrative Code. The library plan ensures that the district library program is aligned with broader district priorities rather than functioning as an isolated service. It documents the library's vision, goals, strategies, actions, resources, and timelines, therefore providing a roadmap for how the library program will support student learning, equitable access, and instructional partnership. It helps the library program demonstrate that it is not only a place for books, but a strategic partner. Once approved by the school board per DPI, these plans must be submitted through the Wise Learn portal. DPI and the Future Ready framework. The Department of Public Instruction has provided guidance, tools, and professional learning. The Future Ready Library Framework is a guide for school librarians to lead, teach, and innovate by aligning library programs with district goals and fostering student success. It provides a roadmap for librarians to build collaborative spaces, develop digital and other literacies, and ensure equitable access to resources. The framework includes tools for self-reflection and planning. The library plan is organized into the 8 years of the Future Ready Librarians. We analyzed our district program through each of the 8 years by looking at our current initiatives and identified areas of growth. In the end, the goals of the library plan focused on 3 of the gears: budget and resources, use of space and time, curriculum, instruction, and assessment. Common School Fund. The Common School Fund is a state-managed fund that provides funding for public education, particularly school libraries. The Common School Fund is vital to our libraries. These dollars bring stories, knowledge, and imagination to our students. Without this funding, many of our libraries would struggle to keep the shelves filled with current, diverse, and engaging books that spark curiosity and foster a love of reading. The Common School Fund ensures that every child, regardless of background, has access to the resources that open doors to learning, literacy, and lifelong opportunity. So, goal 1, common school funding. All schools in the district must fully spend their annual common school fund allocation by April 30th of each fiscal year to ensure the timely procurement of library materials in alignment with state requirements. To keep our libraries vibrant and compliant with state guidelines, it is essential that every school fully spends its common school fund allocation each year. These funds are dedicated solely to enriching our library collections, ensuring that students have access to new, relevant, and diverse materials that support learning and literacy. By using every dollar by April 30th, we not only meet state requirements, but also invest directly in our students' growth, curiosity, and academic success. Goal 2, equitable library programs. All students in the district will have equitable access to school library resources, services, and spaces that support their literacy, academic, and social, emotional, and personal growth, regardless of school location, grade level, ability, language, or socioeconomic background. True equity begins with access. When some schools have open, thriving libraries while others do not, our students lose more than books. They lose opportunities to explore, imagine, and learn. This goal is about ensuring that every school has a staffed, welcoming library space where students can connect with stories, information, and support. Every child deserves a place in their school where reading is celebrated and curiosity is encouraged and learning comes to life. This is a long-term goal that will take time, but this will be the first step towards equity for our school libraries. Goal number 3, digital citizenship, information, literacy, and research. By the end of the academic year, school librarians will collaboratively plan and deliver instruction that integrates digital citizenship, information literacy, and research skills into grade-level curriculum. Instructional impact will be measured by student growth in responsible technology use, source evaluation, and research proficiency as demonstrated through pre- and post-assessments. School librarians play a vital role in preparing students to think critically and act responsibly in a digital world. Through collaborative planning with teachers, librarians will deliver lessons that integrate digital citizenship, information literacy, and research skills into daily learning. This work empowers students to navigate information confidently, use technology ethically, and evaluate sources effectively. By measuring growth through pre- and post-assessments, we can demonstrate the impact of library instruction on student achievement and digital readiness. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Madam Secretary, do we have any speaker slips on this item?
We do not.
All right, committee members, do you wish to make comments or ask questions? Director Herndon.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. My question is in relation to number 1, the common school funding. The other thing that I question, because several years ago, as most people know, we got the referendum funding, and part of that, the first one we tried to use for libraries. Are all of our schools using their libraries now? Are the libraries functional in each and every one of our schools in the district? And the reason why I ask that is because it speaks of the funding coming from the state. So that was something I never knew, having been on the board for a while, but I never knew that, which is great. Does that serve the purpose so that all of our schools get what they need in their libraries?
Administration.
Director Herndon, Chair Simpson, and members of the committee, Renee Laird, Adelong District Library Media Specialist. So your question was, are all of the libraries open and operating?
Yes.
Not at 100%. However, we do have a solution for that with the library plan for the equity goal. In December, we will beta test our survey with the library media specialist, and then in January, we'll send it out, and it'll be a a survey for each school to be able to measure the level of their library services. And so to see if they really need a lot of help, if they're emerging or advanced. And from there, we'll be able to find out exactly what level each school is at. But yes, all of the schools do receive funding for the Common School Funds.
Director Herndon?
Yes, do they use it? Or do they have to, is there something that if they don't use it, the funds go someplace else?
For the most part, yes, the schools are doing a really great job of spending their common school funds. And then if they don't, then it comes back to the district, and then we spend it on additional library items.
Okay, thank you. That's it.
All right. Any other committee members wishing to make comments? Director Ferguson?
Thank you. I am just curious to know, what is digital citizenship?
Right.
Administration?
Yes. Director Ferguson, Chair Simpson, and members of the committee, Renee Laird-Adelon, District Library Media Specialist. Digital citizenship is how you conduct yourself on the internet and through social media. And so, we see people all the time making comments and whatnot, and there's a digital footprint. And so we want to teach our students to know how to properly conduct themselves, and so that they know how to, with the information that they have, to learn how to manage themselves properly on social media and on the internet.
Any follow-up, Director Ferguson?
No, but thank you. I learned something new today.
Wonderful. Any other committee members wishing to make comments? All right, I have a question. So is the dollar amount that is given out to schools, is it like per student, or is it like every school gets X amount?
Chair Simpson and members of the committee, Renee Laird-Adelon, District Library Media Specialist. Each school receives funding depending on the enrollment.
Okay. And if I understand the numbers correctly, there are some schools that currently don't really have a library that's like up and running?
Correct. And so we are working on that, and definitely in January, as we send out the self-survey, the self-evaluation of the library, we'll find out more.
All right, and then just one last thing. Do we have sort of a timeline or goal, like by such and such a year, we're hoping to have all libraries up, running, staffed? I know there are a lot of moving parts, but I was just wondering if we had a goal.
Yes. Chair Simpson and members of the committee, Renee Laird-Adelon, District Library Media Specialist. The district library plan is a 5-year plan.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. So hopefully by the end of that time period, that would be our endpoint. Thank you. President Zambor.
Thank you, Chair Simpson. First of all, I love libraries, and I think I told Director Simpson this, but like my dream job would be a library media specialist. I think that would just be the best. So thank you for all of the work that you do. We could trade. Maybe being the board isn't my. So a question about I guess a question about the district library plan. So it looks like tonight the board is being asked to approve a library plan. I assume the PowerPoint isn't the plan. Mm-hmm. Is it possible for the board to see the plan before approving it?
Administration.
President Zambor, Chair Simpson, and members of the committee, Renee Laird-Adelon, District Library Media Specialist. Well, of course.
Okay.
Well, of course, and I really want you guys to look through it, yes.
Because then we could, if it could just get emailed to board members before the full board, that way everyone has it before it gets uploaded. Would that Would that be wise?
Administration, it sounds like that'll work. Director Ferguson? I'm sorry, not Director. See, I told you I cannot, I have the names written right here. You both start with F, so
Chris,
you know.
apparently we look alike.
Director.
I was
Director
wondering.
Franz, I'm so sorry.
Would we have to make a motion to change the timing of the approval of the plan?
We would have to move it forward
Okay.
without a recommendation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I would move that we move forward to, am I recognized?
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, you certainly
Okay.
are, Director
I would move
Franz.
then that we move forward without recommendation so that we can take action as a full committee with the knowledge that we would have the full plan to all members before we vote.
Yes, being informed is important. It
It's-
is helpful.
It's part of digital literacy.
All right, thank you. So administration, yes, go ahead.
I'm being told, Director Simpson and members, I believe that you got that email to you on Monday.
Oh.
In a communication.
All right.
Update.
All right,
Oh, in
so
the
we did get it. But if you would like additional time to
But we
review
can
that.
for sure get it through.
Yeah, Director, or President Zambor.
And I think this just goes to, this is why things have to go to public board meetings, because I'm sure we're not the only ones that are going to look at the literacy plan, and if they're attached to agenda items, then the public can also look at them and give us feedback. So I think we just need to get back into the habit of, this is why we have committee meetings, is to do the work and review those documents. That way it doesn't get buried in the email.
Yes, no, and I appreciate
Simpson,
that.
President
Yep,
Zambor,
administration.
absolutely. I think it was just an oversight not to include it, and we'll make sure that it gets there as well. But we want to just make sure that we give you items ahead of time when there's more to read, so that you can have it. Thanks.
No, completely appreciate that, and I will be honest, I look at my email every day, and as point taken, President Zambor, it just sometimes gets missed, so yeah, attaching it to items is really helpful. All right, so it looks like we are going to keep Director Franz's motion to forward it to the full board without recommendation, giving everyone an opportunity. Yes, Dr. Owen Moore.
And just very quickly, I know Director Reza had asked to speak also. I
Oh,
don't know
yep,
if she
I'm
still
so
wants to
sorry.
speak, knowing.
Director Reza.
Are you there,
No.
Director Reza?
Can you hear me all?
Yep, we
Hello?
hear you. Yep.
Okay, great. How are we ensuring that the multilingual learners and students with special needs benefit fully from the library instruction?
Administration?
Director Reza?
Reza, yes.
Director Reza, Chair Simpson, and members of the committee, Renee Laird, Adelong District Library Media Specialist. One thing I can say for sure is that when it comes to library, we are incredibly diverse. We make sure that there is equity, and just like with any other instruction, our librarians most definitely make sure that any student with any special needs are always addressed. That's something that we definitely double down on in library, equity.
Thank you. Director Reza, a follow-up?
Thank you so much. Just one more question. What practices are in place to ensure that all students develop strong digital citizenship skills?
Administration?
Director Reza, Chair Simpson, and members of the committee, Renee Laird, Adelon District Library Media Specialist. Well, now we're talking about our through line, which is digital citizenship, information literacy, and research. And so I most definitely wanted to make sure that that was always being taught at all times, always, for library. And so we have been working in our PLCs to make sure that we are working together. We have a curriculum now for that. We didn't have that before, so we have a curriculum now, and we are definitely moving forward with digital citizenship, information literacy, and research. That is our through line.
Thank you. Director Reza, any other questions?
No other questions. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Any other committee members who wish to make comments or ask questions? All right, so we do have, I'll just say, yes, thank you for the work you do. Libraries are so important. As a teacher, I remember taking my kids there once a week, and it was like my favorite day of the week to go, because they come, you know, eager. They love going through the shelves and picking their own books. So I'm very excited about this plan. Madam Secretary, would you please review read the motion before we take a vote?
On Director Fahn's motion to advance this item to the full board without a recommendation. Director Ferguson?
Aye.
Director Fahns?
Aye.
Director Herndon? Aye. Director Vanoy?
Aye.
And Chair Seamson?
Aye.
That's 5 ayes. The motion passes.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, next item, please.
Madam Chair, item 6 is report with possible action regarding music education. This is an informational item, and although it has been noticed for possible action, no action is required.
Would the administration please present this item?
Chair Seamson and members of the committee, Brenda Caselli is superintendent. Joining me this evening is Sherry Garcia to share our semi-annual music education report. Following the sharing of this report, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Ms. Garcia?
Just setting up the presentation right now. Just going to take a moment to do so. I'm speaking just to make sure we don't have any dead air right now, because we are on the radio. Just bringing up the presentation on music education.
Thank you for helping to fill the airspace.
Thank you, Dr. Gazelius. Chair Seamson, members of the committee, Sherry Garcia, here to present our report on music education. We have this year a total of 127 music staff in Milwaukee Public Schools, and there's been exponential growth in our music programs this fall. We have added an orchestra and a band at South Division High School, added a choir at Pulaski, added a third music teacher for the orchestra at Rufus King. In addition, there is a new band program at Grant School. We have more than doubled the size of the band programs at View and Greenfield, and expanded instrumental music at Cooper, Congress, Parkside, Craig, Ideal, and Hayes. And with the addition of a second guitar TMT, we've added programs at Mitchell, Burbank, Clement Avenue, and 95th Street School. We're holding steady at about 99 full-time certified classroom music teachers. We've added many hours of traveling music time this year. Last year we had about 282 hours of teaching in schools, and this year we have 425 hours of traveling music teacher time for students. We now have 11 full-time TMTs and 13 part-time TMTs, offering lessons for winds, brass, percussion, drumline, strings, piano, voice, guitar, and harp. Our 2 music instructional coaches are working with 23 teachers who are new to the profession, new to MPS, working on their certification, or maybe international teachers who started in the middle of the year last year. Our music instructional coaches deliver weekly support following the student-centered coaching model. We've kept our instrument specialists very busy this fall with all of our new programs, and for the first time I can confidently say that we have surpassed our pre-COVID level of involvement in instrumental music. Enrollment in band and orchestra was down across the nation following the pandemic, but we are showing a dramatic increase in numbers in MPS this year. We are very grateful for our partnership with the Wisconsin Conservatory of Music. We have a lot of .2 music vacancies, so 1 day a week in MPS, and it's very difficult to staff that as our current board music policy requires that we place our music teachers in no more than 2 schools. The conservatory is working in 36 schools this year, delivering general music, drumming, and lesson instruction. We do have an update to bullet point number 3. As of today, we really only have 4 schools that don't have music instruction in place, and we have about just less than 1,200 students that are without a music teacher this year. So our Milwaukee Public Schools Biennial Music Festival, it's the 51st year, 102 years we have been having this festival in our district. Over 5,000 students will perform, representing all schools in the district. There will be 3 bands, 3 orchestras, 3 choirs, a modern band, the All-City Drumline, World Drums, Piano, and Harp. It's going to take place May 6th and 7th at the UWM Panther Arena. And if our technology allows, I have a preview video to share with you. Our upcoming district events include the Biennial Festival. Our next big event is the Battle of the Drumlines, which will happen on December 13th, Saturday at Rufus King High School. We have this year 17 drumlines participating from 12 different schools. It should be a wonderful day, a little bit loud, but good time. And then we also offer our WSMA Solo and Ensemble Contest. It's going to be on February 28th at Milwaukee High School of the Arts. All schools with ensembles are expected to send any students 6th grade and above to participate in that event. And then the Biennial Festival on May 6th and 7th. So as we look forward to fiscal year 2027, we've been working with the data that was revealed by our music feeder pattern study, and we hope to strengthen the alignment between music programs across the district. As I mentioned earlier, our board music policy requires that we place teachers in no more than 2 schools, so funding music positions at 0.5 FTE would make it possible to create desirable full-time jobs teaching music in MPS. We have a lot of small schools right now, and as the long-range facilities master plan takes shape, we hope that merging some of these smaller schools will help us to place certified music teachers in more schools. In an effort to align our art schools, we would consider combining Roosevelt and Lincoln into one fully staffed arts middle school. The pathway from Elm Creative Arts to Roosevelt to Milwaukee High School of the Arts as a citywide art school community would build continuity for families and offer some centrally located options. We'd love to see art, music, theater, dance offered in every school, particularly at our art schools. Students should be able to start art, music, theater, and dance at Elm, and then continue with all of these areas from middle school, matriculate into the High School of the Arts, with the same opportunities available at each stage along the path. We've come a long way from 50 music teachers in 40 schools back in 2019 to where we are right now, with more than 60,000 MPS students who have music instruction. So fully funding the music, art, dance, and theater positions in every school would represent the final stage of the expansion that started with the 2020 referendum. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Thank you. And I just have to thank you for the consistent work that you've done with thoughtful and careful planning along the way to kind of put us in the position that we are today. So just thank you so much for your work. Madam Secretary, are there any members of the public who wish to make comments on this item?
We do not have any speaker slips.
All right, I'm going to turn to committee members. Director Herndon.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I want to commend our arts staff for all the work that you put in since 2019. It was a hard lift for all of us, and every time I see pictures from last year, like you showed the video from the 50th, I have to pinch myself. It's really something for us all to be proud of, because in 2019, we were nowhere near serving our students appropriately in the arts, not at all. And for these kids in just a couple years to acquire the skills, first we had to buy the instruments, but to acquire the skills, it's just mind-boggling. So I hope the whole board joins us at the Biennial Festival next spring, because the last one I was there by myself with tears, so I need company, okay?
Any other board members who wish to make comments or ask questions?
And now, in addition to that, though, I do have
I'm so
questions.
sorry, Director Herndon. I did not ask you for a follow-up.
Yes.
I'm sorry, dear. Go
I do
ahead.
have questions, but it's just amazing. And so I have to tweet our horn on that. But anyways, I had some specific questions about the report, because thank you for getting the report in so it's part of public record, because the information in this report, which is attached, as people that have been on the board a lot, prior, this is very valuable to know where your schools stand in this whole thing with the music in particular, but art as well. My specific questions are, what I noticed in the report was there were a total of 7 schools that did not contact contractors to provide the services. How do they get that option?
Administration.
Director Herndon, Chair Simpson, Sherry Garcia, Music Curriculum Specialist. It's actually only 4 schools now, so there were a few that have now worked with an additional vendor. So schools were sent the information right when principals came back to school on July 30th about how to contract the conservatory if their position was vacant at that time. And the conservatory does have a finite amount of people that can go out to do this work. So it was the people that got in there very quickly and talked to the conservatory immediately were able to set up those services, and it is 36 schools that were able to do that. So some of the schools currently that don't have music services with the conservatory are working with another vendor, T-Bay, which is an arts vendor in this city as well, and there's just those 4 that are still without instruction at this time.
Okay, so some of those have already set up services with the contractors. Then one other one is Starms received the proposal and declined in their 1 through 8.
Director Herndon, Chair Simpson, Sherry Garcia, Music Curriculum Specialist. Starms is going to be working with the conservatory at the Early Childhood Center and with T-Bay at the other campus.
Okay, well, that's it for my questions. Right. Everything seems to be covered.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Director Herndon. Director Vanoy.
I have a question about the 2, it looks like just 2, Hamilton and Northcutt on 3rd Friday. Who makes the decisions to, like, I get no enrollment, or they didn't make their enrollment or whatever, but how do those decisions get, like, who makes the decision to cut which positions on 3rd Friday?
Administration.
Director Vanoy, Chair Simpson, members of the committee, Sherry Garcia, Music Curriculum Specialist. So in those 2 instances, it was an enrollment issue. And that was actually a new position that had been added to Hamilton just a couple of years ago. So it was really hard for them to make that decision. And we were very fortunate that the teacher that was cut at Hamilton ended up at Alba, where there was a vacancy. And then in the situation at North, it was a vacant position that was at .5. And they, I believe, made the decision to keep another either physical education or art intact, and so the music position was cut in order to preserve another staff place.
follow-up, Director Benoit? Okay. Any other committee members? Mr. Chason?
Thank you, Chair Simpson, Matt Chason, Office of Accountability and Efficiency. First, I also want to piggyback what Director Hernan said, and also Chair Simpson. Since the very earliest implementation of this particular policy, the monitoring and the updates that Ms. Garcia, Ms. Bowling have provided clear sight of gap to goal, how close we were to achieving the goals of the policy. I think it's an exemplary demonstration of how any updates for board policy implementation should be brought forward. So I just want to highlight that. And then lastly, I just want to confirm, and maybe for the benefit of the public, it's free admission at the biennial festival. Is that correct?
Administration?
Director Simpson, Mr. Chason, absolutely free and open to the public. The only event that we are offering this year that costs money is the Drumline. Battle of the Drumlines is very popular, but that one's still only $3, so a very good deal.
Very affordable. Mr. Chason, any other questions?
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other questions by members of the
Chair
committee?
Simpson?
Yes.
Director Reza.
And I'm sorry, Director Reza. I am so sorry. Director Reza.
Hi, everyone. I just really want to thank the administration for, the music curriculum. As a proud graduate from Milwaukee High School of the Arts, I have to also point out that Ms. Garcia was my music teacher, especially for band. So I'm so happy to see her. It's really given me the strength, and especially the positive impact that, music gains for our students. So I just really want to thank the music administration as it is curriculum team for all their hard work. So thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. All right. I think that's it. Just briefly, before we move to the next item, I was looking at my phone and I could not find the library plan because I don't remember I've seen it. So I don't know if it was sent, but if you could just resend it to all board members. I just couldn't find it. So I don't know. So, and I just want to make sure we actually do have it because I couldn't find it. So, all right, with that, Madam Secretary, next item, please.
Madam Chair, item 7 is report with possible action regarding art education. This is an informational item, and although it has been noticed for possible action, no action is required.
Would administration please present this item?
Chair Simpson, members of the committee, Brenda Caselli, Superintendent. Joining me this evening is Dr. Deborah Bowling to share our semi-annual art education report. Following the sharing of this report, we will be happy to address any questions you have.
Director Simpson, members of the committee, Dr. Deborah Bowling, Fine Arts Manager. Excited to present visual art information for you this evening. So staffing for the 25-26 school year has been a point of pride. We currently have the lowest number of vacancies in 10 years, while still seeing positions increase. Our partnership with area universities are strong, and we continue to hire student teachers as they complete their programs. We currently have 154 art positions that are filled with arts educators. We have art vacancies only at 7 schools, which is a total of 3.8 full-time FTEs combined. And some of those things have shifted a little bit since the presentation. However, 6 of the 7 are filled by our RFP approved vendors, which is T-Bay and Arts at Large. And then 1 applicant is in process. And in addition, we have additional applicants, including 3 student teachers that will be graduating in January that we are very excited to have on the team. We currently have 2 teacher leaders or instructional coaches to support our visual art teachers. Visual art is unique in that we do not employ a dedicated curriculum specialist in visual art. In addition to my role in overseeing art, music, phy-ed, health, and science, I also serve as the curriculum specialist. On the right side of the screen, you will see that the 2 arts integration coach positions were eliminated for this year. This has limited our ability to maintain the support and coaching necessary to grow the creative teaching strategies which we had worked so hard to begin, and also the integration of arts across all content areas. Last year, we collected data based on the district walkthrough tool, which reflected the implementation of ambitious instruction. From the data, we were able to determine overall strengths and areas of growth to focus in on professional development. As Ms. Garcia has also presented, we are very into data in the Fine Arts Office and trying to make areas that may not be quantitative as easy for you to see as possible with the growth and the progress that we have made. We have still a number of visual art student opportunities that people can prepare their students for. You can see these are the upcoming contests. Some of them have already begun, are in process, and the City of Milwaukee early voting already has been completed. But we have the fire prevention, that's early in the beginning of the school year. We have the MLK Art Contest, which has been always a big hit across the district, as well as the Spelling Bee, STEAM Fair buttons, the Museum of Wisconsin Art Teen Exhibit, the Cesar Chavez Art Contest. New was the State Fair Youth Art Awards, and of course our participation into the International Folk Fair, which has been another area of growth for us. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them at this time.
Thank you, and thank you to you as well for the work that's being done in this area. I know we all see it when we walk into the schools and the districts that we represent, so it's a wonderful opportunity for our students. Madam Secretary, are there any members of the public who wish to make comments?
There are not.
All righty, back to committee, comments and questions. Seeing none, Director Reza, would you like to make a comment or ask a question?
No comment from me.
Thank you. I remembered you this time. Any others? All righty, seeing none, thank you again very much for that update. Really appreciate it. And Madam Secretary, next item, please.
Madam Chair, item 8 is follow-up on report with possible action on the MPS FY26 academic plan. This is an informational item, and although it has been noticed for possible action, no action is required.
Thank you. Would administration please present this item?
Chair Simpson, members of the committee, Brenda Cassellius, Superintendent. At the request of the SASI Committee Chair, the administration will provide regular updates on the FY26 academic literacy plan. To present this update this evening, I have with me Dr. Belly Menace, Academic Superintendent for Literacy, supported by MGT, Vice President Mavis Nelson, and Director Sarah Iannucci. MGT is the firm that conducted the district's academic and operational audits this past spring, and they continue to partner with us in implementing and refining the academic literacy plan to ensure measurable improvements in outcomes and instructional practices. Following this update, we will be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Chair Simpson, members of the board, Gabriela Abel Jimenez, Academic Superintendent for Literacy. Thank you for the opportunity to provide you an update. It is important that we start our conversation today once again grounding ourselves in what is instructional excellence and why it is that high-quality instructional resources are so fundamentally important for it. In order for us to start the conversation, we would like to be grounded on a very important publication that came from TNTP in the year 2018. You might know it is the opportunity myth. And a big idea that came from the publication is that when teachers have access to high-quality instructional resources, their standards align, and that they have a sound pedagogical framework, in our case, the science of reading, that students are more likely to have access to daily tasks and practices that are at the rigor of grade level, and thus academic achievement improves. In essence, the report shows that when teachers and students have access to these high-quality instructional materials, less instructional time is wasted because more of the instructional minutes are deeply connected to what we understand to be grade-level academic rigor. At the same time, there's a greater opportunity for students to engage in mastery of skills that are appropriate for the grade level because they have more predictable practices connected to it. The report also shows that acceleration occurs even for students that are significantly behind when they have access to daily instruction that is at the rigor of the grade level. And overall, this is a very important equity strategy. The conversation about high-quality instructional materials continues to be grounded in the three beliefs that we have been speaking about from the beginning of the school year. We have named the Tier 1 daily instruction that is standards aligned and that is delivered through high-quality instructional materials is our fundamental aim for the reasons that I just named. We also believe that this instruction is so important that all kiddos should have access to this instruction and the daily. And if A and B are true, we also believe that the instruction should be delivered using pedagogical approaches that are aligned to the science of reading, because that is the way in which the brain learns how to read. In essence, our work continues to be the same and our call of action continues to be the same. For MPS, we want to be absolutely certain that all of our kiddos are going to read, and that when we say all, we need absolutely every single one of them. And we want to create positive conditions for all of our teachers to be able to teach, and that means that we're going to support all of our teachers in order to do that. I am going to pass it on to Ms. Nelson.
Thank you. Chair Simpson, members of the committee, Mavis Nelson, Vice President at MGT. As Dr. Caselius noted, MGT was hired last spring to conduct the academic audit, and we're excited now to be partnering with the district to help implement the recommendations that we named in June. I want to speak tonight just briefly to note that all of the plans that Dr. Jimenez is sharing related to high quality instructional materials, as well as the larger implementation plan for literacy that my colleague will speak to briefly at the end, are highly aligned directly to the recommendations in the audit. I've highlighted some areas. You might remember this slide back from the summer, but in particular, Lever 2 is around ambitious instruction and learning, and we shared a number of recommendations that many of which were specifically related to the science of reading, and particularly that third one. In addition, you'll note that kind of our second big objective for the district this year was around implementation of curriculum materials, and this is a direct result of that recommendation. Also, you'll see, and I won't read them all to you, but the implementation plan that will align with this materials shift and the update to the strategy that we're sharing tonight includes establishing that vision for teaching and learning, developing instructional leadership, thinking about equity of access, and engaging families to be empowered as partners in the work. So as Dr. Jimenez and my colleagues share a little bit more about this next step in the literacy plan, I want to make sure it's noted that this is really well grounded in the findings and recommendations that we shared over the summer.
You are familiar with this slide, and it is here as a way to remind us that our academic plan for the 25-26 school year is grounded on these three very important shifts. Being certain that we're delivering daily instruction that is connected to the science of reading, and that the pedagogies are what we know to be structural literacy, our investment to letters training, our explicit teaching of word recognition, and the integration of reading and writing are part of this important bucket. Our call to action to ensure that we are not waiting for our kiddos to fall behind, but rather we are investing handsomely in Tier 1 instruction and general education, and of course with working in transparency and partnership in making these plans visible and partnering with our colleagues on it. This slide is also familiar to you. We have spoken about the integration of the reading and the writing, the explicit word recognition, and the new look that we have. It is important for us, especially at this part of implementation, that we name that we have encountered some challenges deeply connected to the difficulty of implementing this word recognition and this integration of reading and writing when most of the access is exclusively available virtually for our teachers, especially in the primary grades, when we have access, for example, to the structural literacy guides only on the online platform, and that is difficult. It's difficult for teachers to navigate. There is also not enough time or capacity to plan for this integrated block and for the teachers to prepare, because remember that we have our instructional coaches, our really talented instructional coaches in the academics team working on the curriculum. That means that we're spending a great amount of the time deconstructing the curriculum that we have to try to reconstruct it in service of science of reading and daily one instruction in the way that we need it to. But that means that we are able to create these lesson plans only with a little window before teachers have to implement it. We have heard from our colleagues that it is important for them and for their practice to be able to have access to the plans with enough time in advance so that they can be responsive for it and they can plan appropriately. And despite our best efforts, that has been difficult. I think that it's very important to say that all parts are doing everything that is humanly possible, but there's only so much time that we have to be able to do this. And there have been, of course, some technical challenges in integrating the HMH resources with the Google-based resources, right? So our teachers have a level of fluency in relationship to use the teacher guides in the way that they have had them, but when we have to reorganize the learning, then we had to acquire quite a bit of a technical understanding on how to navigate the Google Docs to be able to do that. Once again, all done with really great efforts, but it's important to note that these have been real challenges. This slide shows exactly the same things that I just named. So in essence, I am happy to report that we are on the right direction in a sense of what it is that we're doing for the integration of the usage of that 90-minute block in elementary to put reading and writing together, because that is what the brain requires to be able to learn how to read and write. And we are absolutely on the right path by having the structured literacy. We are seeking support and we're engaged in a conversation, and we want to hear from you about a proposed solution, which would be for us to acquire materials, which are the HMH version 3, that are ready-made for the integration of reading and writing, and that would allow our teachers that have been using structured literacy virtually only to have access to the teacher manuals, to the slide decks, to professional development, and to the decodable texts that are so, so important to be able to implement in a way that is sound. In essence, the proposal that we have on the table takes into account the feedback that we have received from staff. Overwhelmingly, the response at the instructional level has been really positive. Our teams recognize how important it is to have word recognition and language comprehension, and we are seeking ways to be able to provide with professional development that is on part of the learning that we have to do. Remember that we're not only working on the integration of reading, writing, and word recognition, but that the word recognition is new because of Act 20 and the science of reading. So the package that we have put forth, that we're putting forth, provides unlimited access, for example, for virtual coaches, for virtual coaching for our teachers, which is a very, very important feature. We want teachers to have access on their fingertips to a coach. The partnership that we are hoping to continue with HMH would allow us to have coaches that are assigned to buildings, so they get to understand deeply about the culture and the ways of working with each of the buildings. And it also creates opportunities for us to intentionally match coaches to learning communities so we can continue to move the strategy forward. At the same time, we understand that having access to virtual coaching with the same person, as important as it is, will also require support for district-wide professional development, and also for visits from these coaches to be able to do in-person modeling. Remember that this will also be, the next 2 years will be years of learning for us, as also at the academic team, and having coaching support at this range would allow us to learn alongside our colleagues that are delivering daily instruction. When we say that all means all, it means that we have actually engaged in meaningful conversations with team members for specialized programs. So although we are speaking overwhelmingly about the implementation and the shift towards version 3 in HMH from K5 to 5th grade, we have also engaged in conversations about what are what are the ways in which we can realize the literacy strategy for all other state groups. So for example, our colleagues for supporting K3 and K4 would advocate, and you will hear more about this in the upcoming months, this is a little bit of a sneak peek, are advocating to ensure that our early childhood teachers have access to letters training for early childhood, and a continued advocacy for us to be able to seek out consultation for oral language development and science of reading. Similarly, we held meetings for specialized programs and got to hear, for example, from our Montessori colleagues, and we asked what are the components about the literacy plan that make sense for us to advocate explicitly for you as Montessorians. And in response to that, it was very clear to us that, for example, for Montessori, we are not advocating for the HMH version 3 because Montessorians have their own curriculum. But in the upcoming months, you may hear from us on a package for advocacy to seek out specialists that know Montessori and the science of reading to be able to continue to further the efforts. For IB programs, the advocacy was to include them in the package to have access to version 3 HMH, and also for additional consultation for IB and science of reading as they continue to make sense of the curriculum. For immersion programs, the conversation allowed us to have clarity in relationship to continue to deliver daily Tier 1 instruction in the language that was connected to the immersion, French or Spanish, or German in our case, but also to advocate in the future for ways to make sense of immersion programming in science of reading. You have access to the summaries as they are linked. For our bilingual programs, the meeting and the advocacy is for bilingual programs to have access to HMH version 3 for the English side of the house. And the upcoming months, we will come possibly with notes on how it is that the version 1, that is what is currently available in Spanish, is faring in relationship to science of reading. So as you can see, we have done our due diligence in connecting with important stakeholders.
Chair Chair Simpson, members of the committee. So we know that getting the right materials in front of kids is crucial. And alongside with that, in order to have the impact that's necessary, there has to be a strong implementation plan. And this is also directly tied to recommendations in the audit to make sure, yes, you have the materials, but do we have the support and structure necessary to make sure that teachers and leaders have the skills and knowledge and mindsets to really make that curriculum come to life for kids, right? The materials are not teaching the children. We have to build capacity of everyone to have this aligned vision. So these are the components of the literacy implementation plan. At the district level, we need to do a couple things. So first is science of reading training for district level leaders. We want to make sure from top to bottom and bottom to up, we have a very aligned vision of what does this look like in front of kids on a daily basis. And so everyone is working toward the same thing, and that starts with building capacity at these key district leader levels. So that's one piece. Second piece is making sure there are clear implementation protocols where we're monitoring implementation data. We need to monitor student outcome data, that's the next piece, but we also need to monitor key look-fors. What are we looking for? How do we know that the teachers are using the materials in the way they're intended? And having protocols to really collect that data and adjust supports and PD based on that data. The next is obviously having really clear goals for student outcomes and making sure we also have growth goals. We're looking at student groups to make sure that this plan is reaching all students and monitoring equity for all in terms of closing gaps between student groups. The other part of this is establishing a very intentional literacy leadership team and ensuring when we do that, there's very intentional alignment with MTA and ASC and ensuring that there's aligned family engagement actions that come out of that leadership team. And things that this team will do
is leading learning walk processes. We have to get into classrooms and really understand the teacher and student experience so we can support them. Monitoring progress on those goals and creating action plans, and really ensuring that we're intentionally using teacher voice in the process and building the right systems and data to make sure that teacher voice is really represented in the process, both quantitatively and qualitatively. And finally, obviously, monitoring student achievement goals and adjusting course. And then that's at the district level. The next piece here is at the school level. So we know that setting up school leaders is critically important in this work, which is also aligned to the audit, and really building capacity in our school leaders to understand the science of reading, understand these new materials, understand how to support their staff, and become and have that capacity to really lead their buildings for strong literacy outcomes. Next piece is teacher professional development, a huge one, right? So having a long-term plan where we know here's the scope for PD days. Here's how teachers across the district are collaborating on literacy and having this aligned vision and having really strong support. We know that teachers want to implement this well, and we need to provide them the right support that's really cohesive and strong and built out for the long term. Next piece is making sure that we heard around HMH built-in support, right? A virtual piece and then in-person coaches, and making sure that those resources are really maximized and we're being really intentional around every single visit that those coaches make is really high impact, and making sure that all lines up to have maximum impact for kids. And then finally, a really clear roadmap for curriculum and assessment. So that means that yes, we're going to have the materials, but we need really clear guidance for teachers around what does the literacy block look like? How does that line up with your materials? And then also ensuring there's pacing guides and really clear guidance for things like remediation and small groups. What's flexible, what's not? And make sure teachers are really clear on leveraging that and integrating small group instruction. And finally, having a really clear assessment plan and knowing what are the different data points that we need to really track student progress. And yeah, just reiterating that, you know, we are really looking forward to collaborating and co-creating many of these things in detail. And there's a lot of components, but they're all very necessary to move the needle on student outcomes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you to our partners from MGT. I appreciate you joining us this evening to walk us through so much of this, and really all of you highlighting the many layers that go into this work to make it successful, because it is not an easy task. Madam Secretary, we're going to go on to our speaker slips. We have 3, so could I have Amanda McElhoon come forward first?
Good evening. I'm Amanda McElhone, M-C-I-L-H-O-N-E. I am a proud 4th grade teacher in this district most days. I rise today in strong opposition to the current implementation of this literacy plan, not because I oppose improving literacy, because that's the opposite, but because this plan is fundamentally flawed in both design and implementation. Right now, what we've been handed is disjointed, incoherent, and frankly insulting to the professionalism of educators. The professional development provided is absolute garbage. There's no kinder way to say it, and I tried all day to think about one. We are given strategies that often don't make sense, with no modeling, no examples, and no clarity about how these pieces are supposed to fit together. It feels like a plan, and it feels less like a plan and more like a collection of ideas taped together the night before. Worse yet, these plans change weekly, sometimes daily, as though teachers can somehow just magically drop everything, completely replan, and magically prepare with no time, no resources, and no notice. Not even an email that says, hey, we updated it for the 27th time this week. I wish I was kidding. The first one was 27 times in 1 week. We are not given sufficient time with the lessons that we are required to teach, and even when we attempt to make the most of it, the daily work often does not even align with the assessments that we are provided. Speaking of assessments, we are now dedicated 9 weeks, 1 quarter of a school year, to testing and literacy. This is not a literacy plan. This is a testing plan. This is on top of all of the other extraneous assessments that we give our students. We are testing them to death. Students do not become stronger readers by filling in bubbles. They become stronger readers through the actual teaching and the actual reading of day-to-day work. Nothing flows coherently from one module to the next, and for the third module in a row, 3 months in a row, I am teaching the prefix miss and dis. Do you know how much my kids care about miss and dis at this point in the school year? I am teaching the same 2 prefixes with the tired, same unengaging lessons based on an online platform that didn't even work for me until this week because I sat on the chat with HMH till 9:30, 2 nights in a row, to get them to figure out, because no one at central office could be bothered with my questions and did not believe me when I said my shit didn't work. But what do I know? I'm just a lowly educator who was brave enough to reach out. How are teachers supposed to deliver strong instruction when the tools that we are mandated to use don't function on a regular basis? This is not thoughtful implementation. This is building the airplane while we are already flying and it's on fire. And the people paying the price are our students. The people you all preach that you care so much about. We do not need to change. We do need to change our literacy approach, absolutely. But this plan needs to be tabled, thoroughly developed, piloted, and relaunched next year with coherent training, resources, and respect that effective literacy instruction requires. Our students deserve this and better than this plan that's thrown together on the fly. Our teachers deserve better than this expected to work. Our students deserve better. You deserve better as a board to know what the hell is going on, and you need to change this now. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Angela Harris.
Uh-oh, almost took that off. Good evening, Superintendent Casillas, Dr. Jimenez, Chair Simpson, Director Ferguson, Angela Harris, Harris. I'm a 2nd grade teacher at Milwaukee Academy of Chinese Language. I want to speak tonight about the district's new literacy rollout and what it means for those of us teaching it every day. Anyone who has observed me teach knows I have high expectations for my scholars. I teach with rigor, fidelity, and proficiency, but I also teach with realism. And the reality is the time allocated in our literacy blocks doesn't actually match the time that we have in our day. That leaves us rushing through lessons or cutting out crucial components, especially review and small group instruction, which are essential when many of our scholars are reading 2 or more grade levels below proficiency. The district's presentation referenced the opportunity myth, which reminds us that students, especially students of color, don't get access to grade level content. I wholeheartedly agree that equity and literacy begins with access, but access must be paired with time, support, and teacher voice. When we move too quickly, we risk creating what the MGT audit called implementation without alignment, where curriculum is rigorous on paper, but inconsistent in practice, because teachers haven't been given the training, planning time, or resources to make it effective. The NAEP scores continue to show us what we see daily. Our Black students in Milwaukee are still reading far below proficiency levels. That's not because they can't achieve it. It's because our systems haven't been designed for sustained growth and mastery. The district's plan includes strong components: structured literacy, letters training, HMH professional development, and a literacy leadership team to collect feedback. But for that feedback to matter, teachers must be partners in this process. We are the ones implementing these changes and assessing daily where our scholars thrive and struggle. There's an African proverb, one of my favorites. It says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I believe that this rollout can take us far, but only if we move together. I urge the district to step into classrooms across different schools, collect data on growth and skill retention, and make time for teacher collaboration and planning. Our shared goal is simple but powerful. Every child in Milwaukee not only learns to read, but loves to learn to read. Thank you.
And we have our last speaker tonight is Mr. Wright.
Hi, good evening, MPS leadership and the board. I actually was just coming out to the meeting to just, hear what was going on. But the question I had was, what is the implementation process with the program for parents and community? Because there was one part at the end of the presentation that talked about partnership. And then after hearing the teachers talk about the training that they didn't get, I'm trying to figure out how much training is going to be given to the parents of the students, because the parents are the first teachers. Teachers spend 8 hours with them, but parents got them when they get home, they got them on weekends. And learning just doesn't take place in the classroom. Learning takes place in the community where they live. So how much training, or is there in your scheme, do you have where you're going to offer training to parents, the community members, where the kids come from? Is that budgeted in there? I don't know, what does that look like? And so when you talk about laying out a program, because what I have experienced is that there is always training for staff, but if you all could do the research, how much money is spent on training of the parents of new implementation processes that you're bringing out? That's the question that I got. And so we're doing that in Lindsay Heights. We're working with our students. I'm at North Division doing activities, walking club, talking to the young men. And we think that the school day should not be a rigorous set day. It should be a flexible day, because our kids are different today. And they're not just learning between the hours of 8 to 3. They're learning all the time. They're on their technology. So I think that the schools should be flexible to reflect the interests of the children, to get them engaged, and also support the parents. Because you have a lot of parents that have working schedules that are different, and you're trying to get home from work, grab kids. Whereas if the school was flexible and it was open, from 8 to 10, maybe kids could come to school with parents in the evening and get some additional instruction. The other barrier that we have is that we don't have Wi-Fi. Everybody don't have affordable Wi-Fi.
I'm going to ask you to stick to the topic of literacy. Your time is up, so if you have one, you're good? Okay. Thank you so much, sir. All right. Back to committee members. So if anyone would like to ask a question or make a comment at this time, Director Vanoy.
Sure. Along with what Ms. Harris was saying, I'm curious, you're talking about training, well, first of all, bringing back coaches, okay? It's very interesting. Yes, we should. When you're training the administration, teachers are doing this now, and what is the expectation for teachers while we're training everybody else to support them? So, I mean, clearly there's frustration. These are not the only teachers we've been hearing this from. We've been hearing this a lot from a lot of different teachers. And it's painful. It's painful to listen to, because if your teachers are frustrated, that means the students are 10 times frustrated. Even though I know the teachers are trying to hide it, the kids can feel it. I get that everybody needs training. I believe that, and I think we need to take some time and maybe even just like a pause or something, or can we give some kind of something to the teachers to during that time? I mean, what's the plan? What's the plan to help?
Administration, not sure who would like to.
Director Benoit, members of the board, of the committee, thank you so much for the inquiry. Establishing the leadership team that we spoke about is going to allow us to have different key stakeholders come to the table to be able to navigate through those difficult complexities and making sense of what would be the right next steps and the right cadence as a whole. That is why the implementation of the plan being led by a committee is of such critical importance. Yes.
Yeah, I get that, but like, it's going to take time. So while that's happening, what are we going to do for teachers? You know what I'm saying? Like, while that...
Administration.
Director Simpson, Director Benoit, we're in a difficult position because it is state law that we will have to implement Act 20 and be aligned to the science of reading. We've had 2 years to get that done. We currently have one professional right now who understands the science of reading and is fully trained in the science of reading. We have a lot of work to do to build this leadership team. This is why I enlisted MGT to help us with the implementation plan, to work with the union, to make sure that we are going together, but we don't have the option not to do anything. So we do have to, try to meet the objectives of the state law, as well as work in a way that is judicious. We added the 4 half-days. We added 3 additional professional development days to get the training to the teachers. And we are now having to adopt a new curriculum because the curriculum that we did adopt is not aligned to the science of reading. Therefore, it's version 2. We need to go to version 3. And so this is something that we've uncovered as part of our uncovering what the preparation was to get us to this point, to be in compliance with the state law. And so as we are, working to put in place the items that we need to put in place to be in compliance with state law, MGT as our partner will help us do that in terms of an implementation plan that's going to be sound. We're starting, we had a half day of training. We're working with teachers on that. We're readjusting now for November 24th and 25th. We have some training going there to help. When we can get these actual materials in front of them that are science aligned, I think that's going to give teachers a little bit more confidence with it. And then they'll have more practice. And as we get more people trained, more coaches trained in the letters training and understanding the science of reading, it will become easier. And this is a year of grace. We are not expecting teachers to be perfect. We are expecting them to continue to try and to continue to work through these items. And we continue to work as best that we can to put this in place now.
Thank you. Director Fons.
Yeah, we have been hearing a lot from teachers and from community members. It just seems, here we are in November now, and we're still, to quote, establishing our team now. It seems very late in the game. And I was going to use the same metaphor as one of the teachers who spoke before. I mean, we seem to be building the plane after it took off. And that seems odd to me that we weren't doing this kind of planning at least in the summer. The other question I have, or that was a comment, the question I have, are we going to need to allocate more monies for volume 3? So is that part of the budget now?
Administration.
Director Simpson, Director Fons, we are going to have to allocate an additional $3.5 million. Right now I'm working with DPI. There's a number of other districts who are in the exact same spot we're in. And so we're trying to get approval for using some of our Act 20 money, given the way that the law is written so that we can use that funding for that purchase. If not, then we're going to have to figure out how we can use other funds to be able to do it, because we absolutely have to, this is our number one priority, big rock that we need to do. So it will mean other cuts if we're not able to do that, but I'm cautiously optimistic that.
Is there state money for that?
There is money in the Act 20 reading reimbursement. We bought our original adoption with ESSER funding. Therefore, we're not eligible for reimbursement. However, it's the same curriculum. However, it's a different version. So they're working through whether that would be reimbursable or not. There's a number of other districts who are in the same spot we are in.
Director Ferguson, any follow-up to that? I'm sorry, I did it again. I'm just going to apologize for my elderly brain here. Director Fons.
I would request that you ask that of Director Fons.
Now you're going to mess me up for all eternity, you know. All right, I'm just going to go around because I think everyone had a question possibly. No, all right. Director Ferguson, do you have any questions?
This one or that one?
That one.
Okay. Sure. My question stems around, I too feel like it's kind of like we're building the plane as it's taking off. And the reality is we are, because we know how we got here, and we're just trying to make the best of a bad situation, right? So I do feel that parents, we kind of need to call them to the table. This is something that, in my opinion, if I could do what I feel is necessary, I would declare a state of emergency around the reading literacy in our district, literally, because it's just that serious and that acute a problem. And I do applaud the administration for trying to do something. It's almost an impossible task to do. But I agree with some that have spoken that it's not insurmountable. We can do it, but we can't leave anybody out. And it kind of made me think of our first FACE meeting, where we asked the question, how do we treat parents as valuable procreators in a world-class education? And so it feels like this particular plan may have been developed in administration and is now just being given to everyone. But the key constituencies, well, the parents are a key constituency, and they are major stakeholders in their children's education. And so I wonder if we should hold a public hearing specifically on literacy, where we really iron out for them where we are, what it's going to take for us to get our kids reading proficiently. And so this is just something, it's not necessarily a question that I just want to put on the minds of everyone, because sometimes it feels like we're not really owning the urgency of the matter. I know the administration is, because you have this whole plan to address it, but I don't think it's going to be effective if you have teachers, for example, and all of us have been getting emails up the wazoo of teachers complaining about how this has been implemented. And if that's the case, then there's little to no hope that our students will actually benefit from this plan. And at the end of the day, we want the plan to work. Everybody on this stage, everybody in this auditorium, we all want the same thing. We want our kids reading proficiently. We want them to succeed and excel. It's a question of how we do it. And so in all of my ranting right now, all I'm suggesting is that we probably do need to do a little bit more to leverage other stakeholders in the development of this plan. That's it.
Thank you. Any other committee members who wish to make comments? President Zambor?
Thank you, Chair Simpson. So I have also been getting a lot of contact from teachers, and I think what's concerning is these are teachers that are some of our strongest practitioners in the district. They're national board certified teachers. They're teachers who taught my child to read, and they are trying really hard to make it work because they care. And so I don't always know what to do to get them immediate assistance if there's something wrong with a module. So I guess one of my questions, I have two questions. Well, I probably have more, but I'm going to start with two. One, what is the, where do educators go for kind of immediate assistance with the modules? If they think maybe there's an error or something's not working right, is there an email? Is there a phone number? Who monitors it? That's one question. And then the other question I have is, are lessons tested before they're given to teachers?
All right, administration.
President Sombord, members of the Director Sombord, members of the committee. We have a link in every module that is on the introduction page where questions or inquiries can be filled. And at the end of the day, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, our team members review them and then we respond to them. The changes that you have been hearing are consequential to us receiving feedback because a team member have realized that something is not correct. Remember that this is exactly why high quality instructional materials are so important. It is not ideal to run a school district this size when we are deconstructing and reconstructing curriculum. We have an extraordinary team of academic managers and specialists and coaches that are doing their absolute best to deconstruct version 2, to reconstruct it into an approximation of what we're seeking, which is version 3. But of course, because curriculum writing is not, the design of the work that we do, errors are found. Our team members are able to fill in inquiries. If they submit their name and their email, we get back to them and let them know how we said that we're funneling it. If there is no name or email address and we only have the inquiry, we make the change. So it is true. Sometimes there are 27 changes in a document because the documents are really extensive. And feedback is a gift. And every time that we receive it, we are pivoting in response to it. So that was the first. The second, in relationship or whether or not we're able to test the lessons, no, we are unable to because the team is writing the lessons in with such a short timeline to be able to release them. Once again, this is the very reason why having access to version 3 and high quality instructional materials is so important because that means that our teams will be able to have the entire breadth of learning for the entire year with a curriculum that comes with a guarantee, which is that it's a standards alignment and a backing of science of reading.
Director Zambor, follow-up?
Yeah. So how do we get version 3 faster?
Yeah. Yes, please. Administration? Like tomorrow?
Director Simpson, President Zambor, we are moving as fast as we can to get version 3 in the hands of our teachers.
Thank you. President Zambor? Any other? No? Okay. Director Ferguson?
What is the biggest, what are some of the differences between version 2 and version 3?
Administration?
You're more the expert than me.
Dr. Ferguson, thank you so much for the question. Fundamentally, at the pedagogical level, at the theoretical level, version 3 is completely founded on what we know to be science of reading. So version 2 allowed Version 2 is what we currently have. Version 2 allowed us organizationally, for example, to only adopt the reading component of it. We never adopted in 2001 the writing component of it. That signals for us at the pedagogical and philosophical level, the version 2 comes fundamentally from a workshop model. When you used to have, I don't know if you remember, a readers and a writers workshop. What we are aiming for and what the legislation of Act 20 is putting in front of us as an opportunity is to ensure that, once again, there's an alignment with science or reading. So the first fundamental difference between version 2 and version 3 is that reading and writing are completely integrated and they're connected to an essential question. So students are able to engage in conversations and in reading connected to a question that is worthy to read and write about for 3 consecutive weeks. So students are able to engage in meaningful text and reading and writing opportunities for this integrated literacy block. At the same time that is true, version 3 follows the scope and sequence for systemic word recognition and word study as it comes in letters, which is the training that we adopted locally for our alignment to Act 20. So that means that some specific skills that were taught in grade levels, let's say there were skills in version 2 that were taught in 3rd grade, but if we are looking really at the science, they should have been taught in 1st grade. There are pedagogies connected to the ways in which those skills are being taught and the order of those skills being taught that is fundamentally different. So without trying to simplify it, it is almost like, it's like the difference of driving a stick shift car or an automatic car, right? One being a workshop model and the other one being a science of reading model. We are turning in our stick shift and driving out with an automatic car that is science of reading aligned.
Director Ferguson, a follow-up?
Yes, one last question.
Of course.
Dr. Casillas, did I hear you correctly when you said we have one professional or one staff person that's fully trained in the science of reading? Did I hear you?
Administration?
Director Ferguson, Director Simpson, members, that is my understanding that Dr. Belly Menace is our science of reading person who is the only one in the district right now that I'm aware of, and leadership. I did observe an amazing teacher today on my school visit who taught herself on the online platform. She said she's been learning letters training on her own for 3 years, and her classroom was amazing, and children were incredibly engaged in learning. But she did it on her own because she knew the law was changing.
Director Ferguson?
And then I'm assuming that you have implemented the science of reading at the district level as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
that's it.
Okay, great. Any other questions or comments from committee members? President
Director
Sandor.
Simpson,
Yeah, no, I'm
Director
sorry.
Ferguson,
Go
I just
ahead.
want to respond. Dr. Belly Menace came to us from Madison Public Schools, where she has been working on this since the law changed. And they are implementing the science of reading there based on her work. And so I just want you to know that we are in this position because we didn't do that alignment. It isn't that good literacy work didn't happen here.
Right.
It's that we have to align it to the science of reading now, to the law that's required. And our leadership team needs to be trained in that science of reading. And so we are really catching up now. And so, we're proud and glad that she's here to give us this work. And we're going to hire more coaches. I know that part of the last legislative bill has allowed DPI to give out coaches. They haven't given those out yet to the schools. And so we're anticipating we're going to get letters trained coaches. We're going to rely on MGT to bring in some other national experts who will be working with our teachers as well and giving Dr. Belly Menace extra support. And we're also going to train our really dedicated educators who are here at the district office and give them the training that they need so that they do have the aligned training that they need. So we're putting together the effort, trying to align to the state law, because we know it's what students need. We understand that change is hard and very frustrating, and so they're attempting to shift the adoption we made, because it was a very expensive adoption, to what we were doing, but realizing that our teachers are frustrated and they need the materials. And so now they've come to me and said, look, we don't have the right materials. We need to get the right materials in place, and so we will purchase those materials and get that to our teachers. Then we have given the added dedicated days this year, and our team has worked really hard to align with MTEA to have time for teachers. I know that you're going to see time is going to be a huge piece of what I'm going to try to build into the FY27 budget for our teachers. I've spoken to the union already about this, something we'll have to meet and confer about. But if teachers don't have the time to do the work in their classroom, I don't know how they're going to actually be able to practice their craft. And so that's a big part of it. We'll be getting ourselves also set up for next year so that they'll have the PLC framework, they'll have the job embedded time that they need to be able to do this work and work with their colleagues and learn from one another and learn from the experts.
Thank you for that. President Zombor.
Thank you, Chair Seamson. Along the lines of kind of, I know that you said you were going to meet and confer with MTEA. I think earlier we mentioned that there were some collaborative discussions with ASC and MTEA. I'm just wondering if you can talk a little bit more about how those conversations are going, specifically around maybe more some of the upcoming professional development and the schedule. Are there any roadblocks or challenges that we're trying to mediate between different stakeholders? Sorry, I have so many questions. I don't normally come to SASI, so this is good. Just indulge me for a little bit.
That's quite
Director
all right.
Seamson, President Zomer, a very important question. I think that there was a missed opportunity at the very beginning of doing the collaboration, to be honest. And that is why I've enlisted MGT to support with the relationship with the union and really trying to better negotiate between our academic team and the union to come to agreement on what needs to be done moving forward. I know that our academic team has big plans because we have a short time frame to get teachers the training that they need. And the union, wonderful, advocating for teachers, saying they also need time to practice it in their classroom. So trying to find that balance between getting them the actual training and having enough time for them to get the training, balanced with them having enough time to actually absorb the material and practice the material. And so MGT has come to the table. We've had a full day of planning with teachers, another half day with our team, and so they've been really working together to try to figure out how do we use these days over the year in a meaningful way that works for teachers, in a way that they can actually absorb and learn it. I've heard Gabby say, this takes a long time. I'm like, why can't we just do a boot camp for 2 weeks? That's not how they learn it. It's obviously not how children learn it either. But I also feel this urgency to get it right for our teachers, and I feel the urgency to also be compliant with the law. So we have both of those going on. And maybe our partners at MGT and Dr. Belly Menace would like to speak to those conversations as well, most recently in the last couple of weeks.
Thank you.
Chair Seamson, President Zombor, members of the committee. Yeah, we partner quite heavily on the upcoming November 24th and 25th days. And right now, we're feeling very aligned and excited for those days across MTA and admin. We had full day sessions where we got short-term input for these days and also long-term input in terms of how do we set up the rest of the calendar year. And so we went back and forth on the 24th and 25th. We feel like we're in a good spot right now. in terms of getting the schedule out. The schedule will go out next week. And then the really next big piece of work is to do, part of this implementation plan is long-term PD strategy. So we're talking about what's happening in January, what's happening in March, what's happening in April, what's happening this summer, and get further long-term planned so we can have collaborative conversations, get that stakeholder input. And the further out we are, it's just we can get more input and be more aligned. And so that is the task. There's a lot of work to do, but in terms of like immediate days, we're feeling very positive about them.
Right. I hear that Director Reza has some questions, so we'll go to her next.
Hi, everyone. I just have one question. The bilingual programs are currently rely on HMH version 3 for English and version 1 for Spanish. How will we ensure that bilingual programs receive the high quality of science or reading aligned materials in both languages? What is the plan if the Spanish version 1 is found to be misaligned?
Administration.
Director Simpson, members of the committee, thank you for the inquiry. As one of the specialized teams we met with and that we submitted a report for was our bilingual principals and our team within the academics. The proposal right now from the advocacy is, as it was mentioned, for us to acquire version 3 in English and to spend second semester into running an internal audit into version 1, which is the version that exists in Spanish currently, to see what is the alignment in to science or reading. We know that HMH is looking at a version in Spanish coming up in the near future. We don't know exactly when, but that will also be taken into consideration. So we'll take second semester to be able to investigate and come back to the committee.
Okay, thank you. Any follow-up to that? Director Reza?
No, not at this moment.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think some of those specialized programs, Montessori, IB immersion, like, all of those would be nice updates to come back to the committee with. Any other questions from members of the committee on this? Yep, go ahead, President Zambor.
Thank you, Chair Simpson. Just a comment. I know we're under a timeline to get the literacy plan implemented and aligned with science of reading. And I think all I would say is that I think it's better to get it right than to rush it as much as possible. We don't, at the end of the day, we want children to be literate. And if we're rushing things in a way that we know in our hearts is not what's best for students, because there's, kind of like a bureaucratic deadline waiting, is there a way to still have the roadmap for implementation so that we are showing significant progress, but we're also not compromising students' experience and actually setting them up for failure. So I just, really concerned about the experience that we've been hearing from some teachers, and just want to make sure that, whatever us as a board can assure the administration, we'd rather get it right than rush it and compromise students' experience.
Thank you so much. Administration?
Director Simpson, President Zambor, we absolutely want to get it right. And we are being fully transparent with the board and with our public about where we're at, and the bumpiness of getting something started. This is difficult and challenging, this big, especially when we're starting from such a deficit from what we were starting. But I also want to remind everybody in the public that 9% of our children are reading on grade level, and what we were giving them was not good enough. So we have to work urgently, and I know that that's not easy to hear, but we have so much growth to do that I personally would rather be trying something and working and getting it wrong and working with everybody's best faith effort than working with something that I know that's 91% not working. So we'll do our best to balance it. And we have been very open and listening and changing as fast as we can, and we will get the materials in the teachers' hands as fast as we can, regardless of how much it costs. We are going to do that, and so we'll find it. We'll find the money for it. So, thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other comments from committee members? All right. Well, I want to thank everybody. First of all, to our presenters. And Dr. Bel Jimenez, just the work that you're doing for us right now. I know it is not easy, but really appreciate that you came here to help us, steer us in the right direction to get going. And again, the partnership with MGT, truly appreciate you coming in to help us with this very heavy lift. Thank you to my colleagues who have asked very thoughtful questions this evening, and to the teachers who came here to speak. As everybody has said, we hear a lot of feedback, and I just want to encourage everybody to continue giving that feedback, because that's how those glitches are found. That's how the pivots, that we need to make are embraced and taken. So I just want to encourage everybody to keep letting us know how it's going, and as soon as possible. I think version 3 will hopefully help kind of smooth some of this out. So as soon as possible, we will show up any day, any time to approve it. So you just call us and we're there. But really, thank you again very much. So Madam Chair, that was the last item. Oh, that's your line. Madam Chair, next item, please.
Madam Chair, that was the last item on this meeting's agenda.
Wow, what a surprise. There being no, don't get me started. There being no further business before the committee, this meeting is adjourned. And as a reminder, a special meeting will begin shortly. Thank you, everybody.